and it was good. Like, it was a good experience for him. You can put on the headphones if you want to.
Okay.
You'll just hear me and me only.
Cool.
Where's my... Hear yourself?
Yes, I can. Okay, cool, yeah.
So, right here.
Yes.
This is the back of the microphone. That's the front.
Okay.
General rule, we try to keep it like that and closer. So, like, trying to,
Okay, I think I'm pretty good now. Okay.
You seem like you won't jump around too much.
No.
Yesterday I was interviewing a comedian, so he was like more moving around and stuff.
Yeah, no, I'll be cool for sure.
Yeah. All right. So we're recording. We're good.
Yes.
So, all right. Here's the big moment.
Yes.
I'm here with Adjoa.
Yes, you
There
pronounced
we go.
it right.
Oh man, I was looking at him. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the letters is a trip.
Yeah.
What sounds come out first? Where are we going?
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh man, I hope I get it. But I got it.
You got it. You're good.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You are an artist.
Yes, I am.
But let's get specific about everything.
Yeah, so I take pictures on 35 millimeter film.
Yeah.
And I do collages out of the old outtakes of pictures, magazine clippings, and also like old journals that I've written in, and make like pictures and boards and stuff out of it.
Yeah. I saw that on your website. It said analog collage making.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because there is a lot of collage making, but it's done digitally.
Yeah.
And just like there's nothing that I really do that is like done in a digital form. Like all of it's just like me cutting and making and putting things together with my hands.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
I like that a lot.
Thank you.
I should have showed you. I have like a 3x4 vision board, and that's all it is.
Sick.
I just found everything that I liked, and I actually cut it out and did it. I felt like it sticked more in my mind to actually reach out and find those things.
For sure. No, I love the process of it all. It's really fulfilling, and just like you feel like a kid again, like cutting up pictures and gluing everything. Like it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was different. Mm-hmm. Mine's a vision board, so I have it like with tacks, so I can change it at any time. Yes. But yeah, it's really cool to do stuff like that. So what drew you to making collages like that?
It honestly, so I actually was listening to this podcast a while back.
Okay.
And there was this girl who I can't remember her name right now, but she like was a collage maker too, and had actually just created her own tarot deck out of like the collages she was making for each like card and the major and minor arcana. So like I heard of that and I thought it was amazing. And then my like ex-partner now was he had a friend who made collages out of like skateboarding magazines. So he was like, you should totally like do your own thing. Like it seems so sick. So I was like, yeah. And then I went to an art show and I met this girl who made collages too. So I feel like it was like signs from everywhere being like, try this out, like see what's up. So then I just, a couple of friends of mine and I are putting together a zine, and we were making submissions, and I was like, I'm gonna try to make a collage for my submission and like see what's up. And like I made one and I was hooked, so I've been doing them ever since.
Really? So it's just that. You just did that and just stuck with you.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. So like most of your collages, are they stuff that you take pictures of?
There's elements of it that pictures that I take, because like even on the rolls, like just not all the pictures end up being ones that I want to post or want to use for anything. So there's just like some that are out of focus or just like kind of thing, but have certain like elements a part of it that would be really cool in other forms. So usually when I have pictures like that, I'd cut them up and then place them where I feel like it would end up working. But like the main gist of it ends up being old like National Geographic magazines that I get from like Value Village that I just like, I like cut them up all apart in different pages a lot. And like if you notice in some of my collages, a lot of them have like nature themes to them in the sense like there's like it's animals, it's like natural forms of the earth, it's like different like landscapes and stuff. So then I like put them all together and just kind of mix it with like the other kind of elements of just like the pictures I take and like journal clippings that I cut up, and then I just kind of like throw them together and make something with it.
Wow. Wow, so it goes like that, eh?
Yeah.
Because I noticed on your website it said outtakes.
Yes.
So like that means like stuff that you wouldn't usually use.
Exactly. It's a lot of it's stuff that just like sometimes I take 2 of a picture instead of 1. So like the one I ended up liking more than the other for whatever reason. So then I'd use the second one because like I already have that, and because like I scan all of the prints onto my laptop. Yeah. I can use the physical forms for the collages and still have the digital parts that I keep on and can like reprint and use for anything. So yeah, like a lot of the time it's the more of the physical pictures that I end up using in different parts of the collages, and it works. Like I really do, like, because then I feel like I'm not wasting anything. Like, you know, like I just don't have pictures sitting in a corner not doing anything. They end up being used for a different kind of art.
Yeah, I was gonna say, nothing's wasted the way you do it.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like a ritual. Like
yes, exactly.
Like the natives, how they would take and use every part of it.
Yes, totally. You get it. You get me.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So, I forget what the actual wording was of your work. I believe you said it was between nostalgia and pleasure.
Yes. So
can you like touch on that? Like what does that actually mean? So like past pleasure kind of thing?
Kind of the idea of when you think of like old memories or old times and just like how good it feels, but also the idea of like pleasure in our everyday life. So like really like innocent, almost like mundane moments that you would think aren't anything, but just realizing like how good the energy around you feels, and that kind of pleasure between like humans, between you and the earth, between you and whatever environment you're in. It's kind of like that idea of just like goodness that I want to capture, and like almost like a timelessness, like remembering this part of yourself or this picture or whatever is in that frame as like super sweet, and just being like, wow, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
True. Yeah, I like that concept of things, capturing like the little moments.
Yes.
Kind of. Yeah, I like that a lot more. Like anytime, like if it's between like going to a club or something with my friends and like just like sitting and talking. Like,
yes, exactly.
Sitting and talking.
Yeah, for sure.
You can capture more there. Okay, so when let's go into 35 millimeter.
Yes.
What is that? Because I see that around. I've seen it on your collective and other people in the collective. Yes. And like what is that? Because I don't know much about photography or lenses or anything.
Yeah. So with the cameras, you could find it in either, I feel like you've heard of it, the 50 millimeter, the 8 millimeter.
Yeah, of course.
And all it does is the range that you can capture within it. So like for a portraiture, let's say, like people say 50 is really good of like just getting that frame in. So with the 35 millimeter, I find it personally, close-ups of images don't end up too focused, but if you get like a whole scene or a whole environment, it ends up really like nice. So it's just like the space of width between the shot of itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you use it, you don't use it towards getting like a close-up. You'll take like almost like a close-up of like a whole.
Yes, exactly. So like a close-up of a whole scene almost. So like you kind of get like, a lot of the time it's like my friends that I'm shooting, or like just like nature landscapes or like random things I see. Yeah. So you can get like the focal point plus its surroundings.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I like about it a lot.
So it kind of goes back to the whole capturing the
yes,
moment thing.
Exactly. It really is just like a snapshot of this scene right there, and it's just held in time.
Like not just the face, but
yes,
like everything that happened.
Exactly.
True. That's pretty cool. So like, why do you go for that vein of things, like capturing the moment? Is that?
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's just how my head works. Like a lot of the times before I started taking pictures, well, when I was in my first year, I took a bunch of film classes just throughout school, just on the side for myself. And like I took a film and image class, and it was basically talking about cinematography. So I found that after I took that class, actually just the way I like saw things and like watched films and movies completely changed, in the terms of like, cinematography is like a moving picture, like that aspect of film that like it's a moment that like elicits a feeling through you, and you like kind of look and you're like, whoa. And it's just like almost when you're watching one, and like just that ender scene of how they choose to end it, it's just like that one like hitter, and like it could be something so simple but you feel a lot from it.
Yeah.
So I found that when I wanted to take pictures, it was that idea of like the emotion behind the scene or behind whatever was going on that kind of like drew me towards it. So with the snapshots and stuff, it was almost like literally clicking a memory into yourself. Like the way you would see something in your head, just like looking out, would be how it would be formed in that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually do that a lot.
Yeah, right.
Like, as soon as I picked up a camera, I started doing that a lot.
Exactly. It's like you'll look at something and be like, I'm going to remember that.
Yeah.
And that's just like how I take pictures of like things that I'm drawn to around my environment.
I kind of do that too, but I'm in video, so like I kind of do it that way.
Yes, exactly.
And I'll be like, and then I'll think of like the cuts going like that.
Yes, exactly.
That's really weird.
Yeah, it's true.
So then like with 35 millimeter, is that like a genre in itself, or?
I believe so. I believe if it's not a genre in itself, it's becoming one just through the idea of like film photography is obviously making like a pretty general comeback in terms of like digital photography back to like analog cameras. And I feel like 35 I think was the most common just throughout like regular cameras people were using back in the day. Like my mom had a 35 millimeter when I was like growing up.
Okay.
But she didn't see it as like anything wild. You know what I mean? It was just what she had. So I think because of that, like a lot of the film that's still around and a lot of the cameras that are usable today end up being 35 millimeter.
Okay, so it's almost like a vintage.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was wondering, because I kept seeing it on people's pages and stuff.
Exactly.
Like, why are they focusing on that? But okay, so it's like a vintage thing. True.
Yes.
True. I was talking to an instant photographer who uses like Polaroid, like strictly that kind of thing, and it's just cool. It just made me think of like, because they look very vintage when you take those kind of shots, because you can't do anything to them. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So, I read on your website that your mom documented a lot of your
growing up, a lot of our childhood.
How did she do that? Because I want to do that. When I have kids, I want to like document.
Yeah. Well, so my mom's from Ghana. Like our family's from Ghana, and
really?
Yeah. That's where like my family's from. Like I have an older sister and 2 younger brothers. And so like me and my brothers were born here, but my sister was born back in Ghana. Okay. So when my mom came here, she had me when there was a gap between me and my sister, and she like she stayed in Ghana for a little bit longer, like after my mom left. So I was like my mom's like only human here, like at first. So she would literally like from the day I was born until like me, my brothers, my sister, like she would just take pictures of everything because she wasn't working. She wasn't doing anything. She was just taking care of us, right? So like in the beginning she just had her camera around and she took pictures of everything. You could see like little outfits I had, like my first birthday, when my brother was born, when my sister came, when my youngest brother was born, like all the way up until my sister now has a son and a daughter, and up until like my nephew was born in like 2012 was basically it. And even that, like you could see the decline from like when digital and cell phones started becoming like a thing, because like the pictures that she was taking was becoming less because she was taking them on her phone now instead of on the camera. But yeah, we have like photo albums just full of like our life in very simple terms of just like, oh, like we're cooking dinner, but my mom had the camera, so click. So it was like super sweet to look at. Yeah,
that's really cool. Because for me, I'm complete opposite. I have like 4 baby pictures of myself.
Wow, yeah.
And like my brothers have maybe like 2 each.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we have like my mom, like she would separate them into like each person because she had so much. Yeah, like she just loved documenting stuff and loved, I guess, watching us grow. So she put it all together.
That's crazy. Oh man, I gotta do that.
Yeah.
So she's just taking pictures, just like.
Yeah, just to take pictures. Yeah, totally. Just of like her life here, our life here together. So they're definitely so like lovely to look back on. Like even now at my age, like whenever I'm bored, I'll just go through them and be like, oh my God, this was life. Like I remember all this stuff, you know? So it's sweet. Yeah. Wow.
So she was like way ahead of the curve, the way things are today.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Like growing up, it was normal, I assume.
Exactly. It was very normal and really sweet. Like just my mom's a creative person and loves creative endeavors anyway, just like to do. So it was really just like an open environment of like making stuff and going to show her them. And then she'd be like, wow, that's so nice. But like always encouraging and stuff. So it definitely did kind of instill that idea of like creating without a purpose, just like making to make when you're bored. Like if you have nothing else to do, like you could just like draw something because like you're there and then someone will like it, you know, like in our family. So it definitely, I think, opened up a lot of space for me to want to try out things just for any reason because I felt like it, which I definitely appreciate now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because so it seems like the whole creative thing is just like fostered in the family.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
my mom was like a dancer growing up.
Oh, really?
She just like ended up joining this group like back home, and like she danced basically all the way up until she still dances today. Not as professionally. She was dancing professionally at some point. But yeah, it was just always a thing in our house. Like music was always playing, people were always dancing, someone was taking a picture of something. Like there was just something going on, so it was really sweet. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I gotta recreate that kind of thing. That's what I want, that kind of house for my kids.
Definitely. And it's super subtle. Like I never thought when I was growing up that I would like end up in this position where I am now, where like I kind of am taking pictures and making like the art things I do like a part of my everyday life. Like it genuinely was so personal all the time. So like it's cool now knowing that like I grew up in this environment that kind of led me here accidentally.
Yeah, because your mother, like I don't know, she considers herself like a style or anything, but her style is very similar to like what you're doing. She's just purely capturing moments like all the time.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. So is that why you do that?
I think so. I think that's why I like. And, like, I can't, like, I don't take myself seriously in any right. So, like, to be in a position where I'm, like, trying to, like, orchestrate these photo shoots and, like, do these things, like, it just would make me, like, die. Like, it'd just be so funny. I just feel like this isn't serious. So, definitely the more natural route of just, like, being with the homies, being in places that I would already be in, and taking pictures of things I see around me, just, like, it's a lot easier for me to like, it makes sense in my head. It doesn't feel like I'm doing something unnatural. Then it just feels like I would like doing something I would already do. So yeah, it definitely feels good just to make it as organic as possible.
I might start doing that.
Yeah, like, totally.
Like, I need to document more of this stuff. And like, I don't know, it's just, it's kind of weird to always have, I guess you're so used to it, but like to always have a camera all the time. Not for me, but for the people around you. Yes.
It definitely, cause I started taking pictures on like film and on disposable cameras back in 2015, but I was like really shy back then. So it was only like my partner at the time and like outside, cause I was like, I don't even want to tell anyone I'm taking pictures. So like it started off like that, and just basically until I got comfortable. And like my friends are awesome. They also like really love creative endeavors, and they just like that I want to take pictures of them, obviously. So I like it, and it's always very in like specific environments, or not even specific, but more like if I feel it's appropriate to have my camera around and bring it out, then I'll have it and bring it out. So the pictures end up where like people want to be taken, like photographed, people want to be documented. Like it's not like pushy or in your face. So like I think it's like for all of us involved, it is a fun idea.
Okay. So basically you kind of feel out the place.
Yes, exactly.
And that way it's not contrived.
Exactly, it's not contrived, and it's also like ends up being like really spontaneous impulses. Like I end up at a couple of shows and like take like these really cool pictures, and it's like I didn't even know I'd end up there that night, but I had my camera and I knew it'd probably be an environment where that would happen. So I like that idea of just like having it with me and like going as the day goes to wherever like I feel like it would be a good spot.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
I like that a lot. So you're talking about like photo shoots and stuff that you're doing now. So like to what extent, like what's going on? Like you're setting up shoots yourself? Are you getting clients? Like where is this photography going through?
It's still very like friend based. Like everyone that's in my pictures is someone I know personally, or like met personally, or like have like some kind of like camaraderie with them. So it like it helps foster an environment where I feel like I'd be like in a space to be able to be like, yo, like do this, do that, but not have it feel like I'm ordering someone around. And I feel like it also gives the person I'm taking a picture of freedom to want to do what they want, because they know me, so they know I'm not gonna like judge them, or it's not weird with like some stranger on like a white wall. You know what I mean? Definitely. Like it's like definitely their lives and their goodness, and they're just like, all right, cool, like I want to do what I want to do, I want to express myself, and you get to document that. So with in terms of photo shoots, I like making almost like photo stories, like having a theme and like just taking a bunch of pictures that I feel kind of like go along with that theme. So I've done a couple with like a couple of friends, and I've done it very specific to like how I feel about that person and their energy. Like there's one with one of my friends, she's like super dope and has like this like wild room of just like posters and red lights everywhere. So it ended up a really just like sweet and homey and cozy kind of photo story with like red lights and just her being herself, and like that ended up working. And then I have another friend who's like literally a ray of sunshine, and she's like a yogi, and she like just has this energy about her. So we ended up kind of doing one in the back room of the yoga studio that we both work at.
Okay.
And it just like when like the pictures, when I was taking them, like I felt like this was her element, like this was where she was supposed to be, because it just seemed so natural. But like I could totally see myself putting her in a situation where the pictures may have not come out that well, or like she wouldn't have felt so comfortable because it wasn't really her. Like it's very geared to the person's energy and how I feel like they would feel the most beautiful, essentially. So yeah, it's really just about making people feel good and showing my friends in their cool selves.
yeah. As you were saying that, I start to think I kind of want to do the same thing with video.
Yes.
And get the people in their elements.
Yes, totally. It just changes a lot.
Yeah, I feel like they'll be more comfortable, like you're saying.
Yes. No, but I feel like you're like cool, like for everything. You know what I mean? Like you do make people want to like talk about themselves in like a chill way and not like be like nervous.
Okay, good. Because that was my first thought. I'm like, I have to get them in their element because like I want them to open up. Because I'd never like done an interview or anything before, so I was like, how else are they gonna feel comfortable? But then this all happened, and like
but this is a good setup.
Yeah, but I think I'm still gonna try and do that.
Definitely.
Because like you were saying, just making them be able to feel like they can just be.
Yeah, totally. That's cool.
As you were saying that, like that instant photographer, that he has like the same kind of process when he goes about things.
Yes.
Really thinks about like the person and everything like that. Might have to connect you guys.
Yeah.
Because he kind of works the same way. He only photographs people that he like, has a connection with.
Yes, totally. It's really, I think like being a photographer, so to say, is a really intimate position to be in. You know what I mean? To take a picture of someone, like it's very easy to go awkward if like something happens, you know, like even just if the vibe isn't there, like it could get awkward. So I definitely feel like it's important to try to make that person feel like they can do whatever they want, like and essentially you're just there to like facilitate like space to like take a picture of them, but it's all on them. So it's definitely something I pay attention to, and like something I'm getting better with, and hopefully with time, like, and just like meeting people and doing things, the subject matter will change and broaden out, and maybe like one day I'll feel like ready to take pictures of people I don't necessarily know, but still be able to create that energy and that like comfortability quickly. But because I haven't, like, it's good to stay with people that I do like have a sense of who they are and kind of what's up, because then it helps the creativity like go more smoothly. I think as you like talk about like that, like, and talk about that process, I think that'll get people that you don't know to sit with totally I hope.
because that's actually really good.
Thank you.
I don't know, as I talk to people, I see like that's kind of lacking, that whole thing. I think you should travel. I definitely want to travel, and I have a couple of trips not coming up, but trips that I'm planning to go see friends in different places. BC is one of them, Montreal is another. So I'm excited to go out there and kind of connect with that environment as well and change it up, because like again, like Toronto's like Toronto, you know what I mean? Like there's definitely a vibe, and I feel like different cities have different vibes within the people that like congregate there. So it'd be really cool to capture that on camera and see kind of how that like manifests throughout like colors and spaces and even the environment that people just like want to take a picture in. I think you should go to South America.
Ooh, yeah, totally.
A good place.
I definitely have plans and dreams to end up there for a while. Just
me too.
Like it's a really beautiful like area, and just I have friends that are from South America, and just different, like specifically the yoga scene too is like really big in Guatemala, actually. Like just that whole like mystic kind of like just like theory and thought within like movement, like yoga, Ayurveda, Tantra, like all those kind of things end up having like little camps in certain areas where you wouldn't really think so. But I've had a couple of friends who were telling me that it's like really good there, so I definitely want to check it out for myself.
Definitely. I feel like a place like that is like Africa, like the capturing a moment there is like capturing so many moments. Back from so much.
It's so true.
To like take a picture of your friend at Machu Picchu.
That definitely changes everything. When I was like really young, my mom brought us all back together to visit. Like, I have a bunch of family back there. And even then, like, it was so beautiful. Like, my mom would let me play around with her camera. I was like 9 or 10 at this point, and just like the stuff I wanted to take a picture of and the scenes and the people, like everything was so breathtaking. Like, even just like my family and like where they lived was like so different. And like you appreciate it a lot more. And just like having that ability to keep that with you in picture form is like timeless.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you've been back there, eh?
Yeah. I went back twice, but both when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go there.
Definitely.
My uncle says, because my mother, she's from Barbados.
Oh, nice.
And she says that people that are from Barbados, that's their background. Mm-hmm, like that's the part of Africa that they're actually from.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It really is. Just like the energy, the colors, the like. Even the spirit of it, like it, like you feel it when you're there. It's a really lovely land. I'm lucky to be from there.
Yeah, definitely, very lucky, man. So when you said photographer, you went like this, but like you seem like a full-fledged photographer, especially as you're talking about your process and everything. Like,
thank you.
Like you're
I don't know. I'm trippy with labels. I like I can't. I don't know. Like I feel. I have to grow into things a little bit more, and I feel like there's like a weight when you call yourself a photographer, an artist. Like yeah, the boxed inness of it, the like identity of it all. Like I don't know, it's a lot to work through. Like I guess I am, and I should be able to call myself that, but like I also don't feel like I should, you know? So like I'm working through it. I don't know. I'm just a child.
It's good. It's good to have a realistic perspective of things.
Thank you. I try.
Just be like, I'm a visual artist.
Yes, right.
Like,
so into the visual art. Yeah, I'm definitely dabbling in a lot. Like creatively, I actually started out writing. Like I've always wrote like poems and prose. Like from when I was a kid, that was always just my thing. Yeah. So like, it was like I've never even called myself a writer before, but like essentially like that's been a craft I've been like having since I was like 9, you know, and I still write to today. So like it really is the idea of just like kind of honoring whatever I'm doing and not letting it like get me to like in a headspace of this is what I am, so this is what I have to be. So yeah, like I am now down to call myself a creative. Yeah, so we're over there with that, but no, I'm trying, and I feel like eventually it won't feel as weird once I like just get all that stuff out of my head and I'm like, okay, it's cool, like you don't have to worry. But yeah, I will keep air quoting any of the callers that I need to say about myself.
No, yeah, that's good. So then where else do you want to go with like the creativeness? So we have the photography, have the collage making, like and then writing. That's how it started, but like do you want to like expand on those or like go somewhere else?
I definitely want to somewhere in the future get into short films. Okay. Like just real, like essentially films that go with the pictures I'm taking and like kind of make a whole project out of each one. Yeah. Because film definitely is what brought me into photography. Like I love movies. I love films. I love the way scenes are set up and like lights and colors and just like really subtle details that you don't think change a scene. Yeah. And like it does everything to it. Like even like a light switch being turned off at a certain point is like moving. So I definitely feel like in that sense working somehow in like my own short films that go with my own photos that I'm taking and making like stories and series out of them would be really, really cool to do. So yeah, I'll be starting at some point. Once I do love picture taking, so I'm going to do that for a lot more. But once I feel like there's a project that would look really good with or like be really good with, I'm definitely going there.
Yeah, definitely. Because like from what you just said, like it seems like all you have to do is like take a picture and like see that picture and then write that story.
Exactly.
And then get those people
Exactly. Even the idea of like the photos being taken, the process of all that could be the short film in itself. Like making it a moving story and like having these snapshots of it be the like the pictures, but then having the overall like day of it all being the short film. So like and like somehow incorporating film into that too. I really love the look of 8mm. Like the Super 8-ball film cameras, but like those are really wild to develop and like wild to process into digital to get it onto a format where I can even share it with people. So I'm still figuring it out how I want to go about it, but I'm excited for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You are creative.
Thank you.
How does writing transfer over like into the picture taking for you? Like, does it at all?
It really does. I think at the base core, the way I write kind of influences most of the things I do, because of, like, when I write poems, it's usually like I think of a line or a few words that like do something to me, like kind of like make sense in my head, and then I'll just go from there and write like a full thing. So a lot of the time when I'm taking a picture or just in any kind of creative form, even the collages, like it ends up being like a theme or an idea in a very large scale and something coming from that. And just the way I would describe things, I guess, while I'm writing is how I try to elicit it in the physical form in photographs. Okay. So like, yeah, it's like it makes sense in my head. Like it's just the process of like seeing something and how I could translate that onto different mediums. But because I've always written, I feel like it always comes out in words first and then moves into different places. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So like even like before like a shoot?
Well, because of the shoots, because it's with people, a lot of the time I kind of have an overall theme I'm trying to elicit. Okay. Like there's one that I'm planning to do with a bunch of friends that's going to be called Babeland. Okay. And that idea, Babeland, is just like femmes in their like happiness, like pleasure and desire and goodness, and just like whatever comes from that. Yeah. But like that started off with me just thinking about like femininity and just like being like, all right, like what do like and specifically like how I feel about it, and just like with my experience and stuff, the idea of like that kind of like indulgence and wanting to indulge and being like a woman, a femme, and being in your body and being like in the nude, in like good, like just everything about it all being like pleasurable and good and like soft lighted and like just like beautiful almost, because like I don't know, like that's the dreamy state, you know what I mean? So that's what, like, from those thoughts of just like those ideas of sensuality and like the female body and everything, moving it and being like, all right, these are how I kind of want these pictures to look. So yeah, like it does. A lot of the stuff I do comes off of like the whims of thoughts I have just read out throughout the day and being like, all right, I can do something with this. Like this kind of works.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You need to go into films.
I hope.
Right now.
Thank you. Yeah, that'd be cool. Once I figure it all out.
Yeah. Even with that, like if you were to like be in that shoot and then to let somebody film that and then have you do a narration.
Yes. That's definitely, and I feel like that's how I end up wanting them to be, just like moving pictures of like whatever it is like all of it happening, and then just like the thoughts behind it being what the words are essentially. I'm excited to get into all of that.
That's really good. I actually plan to do something like that with these. I'm actually going to start narrating them.
Nice.
Kind of. So it's like we go through this and then all of a sudden like it might pause or something and then I'll like talk about like what that triggered in me. And
totally. That'd be sick.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, these interviews definitely, I've checked out a couple of them with other of the people you've featured, and they're sick. I'm hyped.
I like it. I like it so far.
That's good.
I like this setup, and I just like talking to people. So
yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
If nothing else, which is good. Yeah, that's cool.
So then, with the whole thing that I'm doing, like I try to like focus on creativity.
Yes.
I know we're like almost an hour in, and I'm like just talking about it now, but I want to talk about creativity and just where do you draw yours from? I think I mentioned before that I work at a yoga studio, and so I practice yoga. I'm interested in like Eastern religions and like mysticism and spirituality. So there's a lot of themes and ideas. Like I went to school for sociology, so just kind of like my regular brain and the thing that interest me are things that I find I draw creativity from, because it asks you to question a lot. Okay. Like it asks you to question like everything you really know at any given moment. So like it's easy for me to kind of like think about weirder things just because the stuff I like is weird, essentially. Yeah, like definitely from film, like I mentioned, from the people that I stay around, from things I read and watch, and like different projects that like have inspired me, different creatives that inspire me. There's just like a lot in this world to take from that you can see and form into yourself and be like, okay, what can I do with it? And I feel like that's always why I've been drawn to make things, because like I don't know, like
you never see yourself being like this famous person or anything, but like if you still have that enjoyment of like doing things and these ideas, like you should somehow want to express them. So like whenever, like even from when I was young, I'd always be like, I want to do this or I want to do that, but I would never actually do it. So now that I'm older, it's like kind of like, yo, like I don't even like care where it ends up. Like it doesn't matter what happens, but I still want to somehow take this thought and make it into the physical world. And I have like, I'm really lucky to have people around me who want to be a part of it. So like I can really go into it at all. So yeah, definitely the world is my inspiration.
True. Yeah, you grab it from I was really intrigued when I saw on the website it said the mystic.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm like into the occult and stuff like that.
Sick.
So like,
ding, ding, ding.
So when I saw that, I was like, well, what do you mean when you say the mystic?
Growing up, I read a lot of books on mythology. Yeah. And like really just loved like different ideas of like paganism and shamanism and like different practices from indigenous cultures, and kind of like I feel like every culture ends up having their magical side on the end, you know? There's like society as it is, and then there's this like underside where everybody knows and respects and loves, but it's like hush hush because you know it's not necessarily all of this earth. So definitely in the mystic side of things, I draw that inspiration from like a lot of symbolism, a lot of like ideas of good and evil, the idea of like the woman and the man. Like I grew up Roman Catholic, so like obviously the idea of like Adam and Eve and even those symbols in the world, like there's a lot on the spiritual and like occult side of things that end up being able to be like manifested into like society's fears and like the things that people wanted to like control and repress. It's like a lot of things that end up being free and like expressed on the mystic side of things. So definitely on that side it influences me, just because like there is that undertone of like magic and like not knowing and that kind of like unseen that's underneath everything. That's definitely like if you're aware of it, you can sense it almost. So I definitely love trying to put that into my stuff. A little bit of creepy, a little bit of weird.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that the whole occult thing. It's just weird stuff.
Exactly. It's just weird stuff. I love it. I've always loved it.
That's really cool that you talk about weird stuff and you talk about the dream state on your website.
Yes.
And you mentioned it. Have you ever heard of like David Lynch?
I'm obsessed with David Lynch. Actually obsessed. He was one, when I was like those creative inspirations, he's one of them. Like his mind's wild to me in the best way possible.
So like what I want to do with this is make it like I want to start like connecting the episodes in a weird David Lynch way.
Please, that man is like not even human. I definitely, and a lot of his films influence like just like my brain period, and just like how I see pictures and want pictures, and kind of the way that like even the use of colors and stuff are used, because like a lot of his films, like they're like outlandish, but not even because of what's going on, but how it's happening. And it's that type of stuff that I love.
I watched recently Mulholland Drive.
Sick.
Fuck is going on? It's like my 5th time watching it.
You're like, what is this?
Like I know what's going on to me. I guess that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Like I always appreciate David Lynch's idea of like the unraveling society, you know? On the top, everything's like all pretty and roses and cute, but then underneath it's like some messed up stuff going on. That's why I love Blue Velvet. Like Blue Velvet's really one of those like contrasting of like the idea of light and goodness and just like suburbia and just like some really dark grungy things going on underneath, like right across the street.
Which is usually the case.
It's always the case.
So have you seen Eraserhead?
I have seen Eraserhead. I've watched Eraserhead a few times. I just watch it to watch it. Like I don't try to pull much from it, because like it's like the first time I watched it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was like I was just like, I don't know what this is, but it looks really good and it's like moving something in me. But like that's definitely a film of like passion, you know?
What do you think the fetus is made of? It's like a big thing. He won't tell anybody, and nobody knows what it's made of.
I couldn't even guess, you know, like that. Eraserhead was like, it's obscure. It's very obscure. I really, really appreciate it. But like, I remember going in and just watching it for how he like put it together essentially. Like I wasn't even trying to form anything out of it, because I was told like you won't understand. So I was like, all right, I won't understand. I won't try. I'm down to watch.
I was I've watched it trying to understand it, and I've watched it like not trying to understand it. And I've watched it with no sound, and like it's just as weird. It's all just as weird.
It is. I love him.
I love that whoever is listening that hasn't seen Eraserhead, all they heard is, what do you think the fetus is made of?
Yeah, and they're like, oh gosh. What is that?
The rumor is that it's an actual chicken fetus.
You think so?
That's what they said. Like, they took an actual like dead thing, and like it was something that they couldn't do, and that's why they don't talk about it.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I feel like he has a lot of those type of kind of like, we got to keep this hush hush, but for the art, like I'm down for it.
Exactly.
Oh man.
That's amazing that you know who David Lynch is.
Of course.
That's crazy. So you should go into film immediately.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you know about David Lynch, you know about the dream state.
Yeah. Yeah. It's again, in school, like I just ended up taking a lot of, I lucked out a lot with a lot of like English and like religion and like feminism classes actually, but that touched on weird parts of everything. Like I remember taking this like it was basically essentially a class on like shamanism. It was like North American indigenous religions. So really? Like yeah, that was the whole class. So we just learned about a bunch of things, and like I took this English class that was I can't remember what it's called right now, but essentially we only watched David Lynch films in the whole class, and we had to talk about like just like the weirdness of society. So that was one of my favorite classes. It was amazing. God. Yeah.
I want to sit in on that class.
Yeah, it was. It talked a lot about just the idea of the grotesque and like the free and the unhandled and the other, like just society being this thing, and like anything that doesn't fit into it being taken out as an outsider, but also made to be feared. And a lot of times they do that fear through the ideas of like, oh, it's evil, it's bad, it's like it'll change your soul. It's like something like so like, you know what I mean, like character breaking, like soul breaking, but really it's just something that like is feared in the mainstream because it's authentic a lot of the time,
basically like the occult.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. All the mystics and practices and rituals that really isn't understood are made to be like, oh, it's the devil, and it's like, no, we're honoring the earth. Like, how could you?
Yeah. Wow. David Lynch. So happy I just got to talk about David Lynch.
Yes.
Because nobody I know knows David Lynch.
Yeah.
I know like one dude who knows who he is.
Yeah.
He actually put me onto him. And,
oh,
like,
nice.
Other than that, like nobody. I've watched most of his stuff on mushrooms. I usually
sick. Yes, for sure. No, cause I was a real big fan of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So from Twin Peaks, it just brought me back into David Lynch's like actual whole career work, and I was like, oh, there's darker, there's weirder. All right, let's go. Yeah.
Oh, I should actually check. I don't know how much of his stuff that you have, but I think I might have like a little package of like his short films.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was actually like, I want to say like even a couple of months ago, I was like, okay, I gotta watch all of because he has a documentary called The Art Life. Like that's like his thing. Like when he talks about his life, like art is called The Art Life. Like this is what I do. Yeah. Like listening to him speak about his process and like his mind and just how everything is like amazing. But he was talking about his short films that he just kind of makes and throws out there. So I wanted to watch a few, and I was like, this is like so sick. Yeah, I really, really am into them.
Yeah, you should. You should make stuff.
I want to.
You have all the makings.
Yes.
Of a filmmaker.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. See, this is why I always wish that I gravitated towards photography before like video.
Yes.
It seems like it sets the stage so well to like write a scene and totally and visualize it.
Yes, exactly. I think a lot of the times in different films that I'm like drawn to, it's how the director chooses to set up the scene in accordance to what they're actually saying too. Like it's not just the people in the dialogue, but it's like the world they've created around it that like really draws me to things, and like it just changes. Like I don't know if you know Sofia Coppola. No. Like the Virgin Suicides. Like a lot of her father's Francis Ford Coppola, the one that did like The Godfather and stuff. Yeah, like his daughter is yes. So I'm obsessed with all of her films. Like just she always has this touch of softness in like very regular scenes that could be boring otherwise, that like I don't know, man, like it's just that it's that type of stuff, like the visualization of everything together is a part of the art process of the film as well. Because like there are films that are good but like are like chilling, you know, like they don't really do anything to you. But then there are films that you would believe shouldn't be that good, but something about it is like, wow, like this is beautiful. Like, you know, like American Beauty comes to mind, Virgin Suicides. Like there's so many different, Drive even, like if we're talking more recently, like there's a lot of films that I love for like how it just looks in your eyes. It pulls you in and you can't get out of it regardless of what's going on. So yeah. Film sick.
2001 Space Odyssey's like that.
Yes.
You break it down, it's like it's almost like nothing.
Exactly.
Then when it's all together, it's just like
sick. It's amazing. No, yeah, there is a lot of films that I find myself just like wanting to watch again, drawing inspiration from. Even just like the stuff that made me want to make anything definitely has that notion of just like it being beautifully done, like well made. And then having like sick dialogue and really good characters that elicit all of that vibe into it together. And it's just like beautiful in the end.
So stuff like that you watch, you say like it makes you want to make stuff, but like, does it make you want to make the type of stuff you're seeing, or will it propel you to like go take pictures?
Yeah, it's usually pictures. Like I feel like I've just refined my own taste in my head of how I appreciate things to look. So a lot of the times everything that like I take in, like even not only like film and stuff, but even like art, like I have this little book of abstract art that just like takes things from like, it's like just a showcase. I don't even know. I got it from like, again, Value Village. Like that's where all of my stuff comes from, to be honest. I love it. Like, and you really see the way like the mind kind of works and stuff and all of that. No, like I won't be an abstract painter ever, you know what I mean? But I can draw from the elements and I'm like, this is sick. Like this works well. So like I'd bring it to my collage making in terms of like how I put things together and the colors I'm drawn to and the shapes I'm drawn to. Like I do really believe that all mediums kind of are able to draw influence into other ones through its essence, even if like what's actually happening isn't the same as what you're actually doing.
Yeah, through the essence.
Yeah, so like a lot of the time when I'm watching films or I'm reading books or something, it's more of the craftiness of it and like the beauty of it that I'm like, all right, I can see what I can put this into myself, but it never, like I just don't feel like you can make things like other people. Like, you know, like if I went into like my picture making or my collage making with anything with like, oh, I'm going to take pictures the way like Sofia Coppola makes films, it would make it contrived. Like it really would. It would limit me. So a lot of the time I just take like how that artist or that creator made something and be like, that's really cool and that's really lovely. And I could see an element of that could influence something I'm doing. But yeah, let's see what we can do with it essentially.
Yeah, that's really cool. I have to think of that more, like when I'm inspired by people. I guess just taking the essence of what they do, because that's kind of why I didn't go through with the whole connecting the episodes like yet. Because I didn't want to do it exactly like him.
Yes.
I haven't found the thing that I'm gonna do. So it's just like.
But you know, you feel the vibe. You're gonna figure it out for yourself, and I think it's gonna look really cool.
Slowly.
Yeah, slowly. All of the experience.
Yeah, exactly. I do a lot of mushrooms, so I'll get inspired.
Yeah, definitely. Mind expansion over there.
Yeah, definitely. So you work in a yoga studio.
Yes, I do.
Do you do a lot of yoga? Like
I do. Yes, hatha. I started yoga, like, again, like, it was a total journey. Like, I kind of started it, I was like, I want to get fit, but, like, I hate the gym. So then like, you know, so then I started when I was, like, 18-ish, but then I was doing it mostly at home, just, like, off of videos and stuff. So when I moved back home from school, I found out that there was like just like a yoga community that was like really close down the street, like a yoga studio, literally walking distance from me.
Wow.
So I ended up going there and just meeting a lot. Like that's actually what kind of manifested this art part of me like into the real world, because before that, like, I don't know, I felt like university, even though I was still creative and still like wanting to do things, there definitely is an environment of very goal oriented, like you need to be finishing essays, papers, exams, like deadlines, and like it doesn't really allow time for you to even want to do something on your own for no reason. You know what I mean? True. Like you're just like exhausted and scared. Like you're like, I'm gonna fail out of all these classes.
Yeah.
So when I moved back home was the first like space and summer that I was just like, I have nothing. Like nothing's due, nothing's needed of me, nothing's to look forward to. There's no one on my back. Like how and what do I do now? Because like really, I went straight to university from high school, and from high school, obviously elementary school. So like just the largest chunk of my life has been in like education systems, and like it changes the way you think, and it changes a lot of the things you want to get into, because you don't really think of your free time as free time. Like you're just trying to push as much in as you can because you know you have so much stuff to do. So being in that place where I was just like, I'm done everything, I'm not tied to anything, like how will I use my time? And falling into this yoga studio and these people and individuals who are all like making just for fun, just making things and doing things and expressing themselves in really authentic and genuine ways that like outside of that environment you'd almost feel shy to do. But then when you're there, it's like just common nature. So that brought me out of my shell a lot, and being able to just like, first of all, like express myself and just like, I'm gonna do weird stuff, I don't care, like this is my thing. So like even that, and just like having so much encouragement from like friends that I made there who were like, yo, you should like be taking pictures, like put yourself out there, like do this, do that, like just like a lot of encouragement and a lot of support for just like aimless creativity, you know what I mean? Just being a person and wanting to make, and someone being like, yo, you can totally do that. Like there'd be days where we would like be sitting in a park like in the summer, like totally barefoot chilling, like, you know what I mean? Like the scene of it all. And then there'd be someone like painting, like just painting on the ground, and like they just brought it from home because they thought they might feel like painting today, but like really there was no plan or anything a part of that. So seeing all of that definitely fostered a physical vibe of like art and creating to me, because it wasn't just like, it didn't seem so weird to want to do all of this just in public with people, because they were doing it too in different forms. So it's been sick. I love the yoga community, and I love the friends I've made from there, and just like the kind of like unassuming like freedom, like, you know, like there's a lot less like social norms that are abided by, and like I like that. Like it really is, you feel like it doesn't matter who you are or what you want to do, it will be accepted just because it's coming from you and it's genuine, and people appreciate that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's what you found at the yoga studio?
Yeah, that's what I found at the yoga studio.
That's pretty cool. Wow. So like you found the community there, and then that kind of like, so like before that you kind of weren't like out in the open with the art?
Yes, exactly. So I was making stuff and I was creating stuff. I'd like have been writing for so long, and just like the idea of even sharing that with someone was like terrifying. And like writing's like really personal. Like it's like I'm not really good with like expressing emotions and like talking about them and stuff. So I find being able to create something out of it helps me process the emotions in a way that doesn't feel like extremely vulnerable. But because of that, writing was always like way too intense for me to want to share, because I was like, someone's gonna know like my innermost like shit, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just gonna get to that place. So it was like hard for me to want to do that. But then that's why I ended up dabbling in like drawing a little bit, and that was cool. But definitely the doodling and the drawing is just for fun for me. Like the process of actual expression, I found I wouldn't be able to, just because that's like just there, the connection with drawing isn't there for me for like making things and expressing things. Like I find it a lot more like what I'm trying to elicit is able to be shown in photography or collage or in writing very naturally. But in drawing, it's a lot of effort. So it's more fun for me to just draw little dumb stuff, or like make little cartoons of myself, or make little things on like the fly, but nothing that I would continue like onward going forward. So definitely, like I can't even remember what you're talking about.
No, that's fine. Don't even worry about it.
Okay, cool.
But, yeah, that's really cool that yoga did that for you and everything.
Yeah, that's very lovely.
So then going from like, you know, being all sheltered, like in terms of the art at least, and then bringing it out in the open, how fast did all this happen? Like where you are now, like you're doing these shoots and everything. Like, was it like slow, or did it like all start to happen?
Honestly, last summer was like the real time where I was like, okay, I'm gonna start taking pictures continuously now. And then I wasn't on Instagram at all. Like I don't know, again, leaving school that summer, I moved back home, was actually really wild in terms of like, I feel like everything I thought about myself and all the like things I held to myself got like shattered, in terms of like I really was in a position of finding myself again, and like kind of like understanding who I am outside of like just social like norms. Like I'm not a university student anymore. I'm not this anymore. I'm not that anymore. Like I'm just Adjoa. Like who is Adjoa? So because of that, I was like in a really wacky time. Plus a lot of just things happened and went wrong that just like totally it got me loose. You know what I mean? So yeah, because of that, like social media was just way too much for me to handle. Like even the idea of like being seen and like people like on me was just like way too dramatic. So I deleted everything. I got off of everything. Yeah, I had nothing for about like a year essentially. Because I only just started this Instagram that like I have right now in January.
Really?
Yeah, like I wasn't on anything. I wasn't doing anything. Like I was just in my head, in the world, like figuring it out. So I feel like that helped me a lot in terms of just like I think it would have been too much pressure on me to be taking pictures and posting them on Instagram and wanting to get likes with, like, it was just, it would make it too, like, too contrived, too controlled, too exactly. Yeah. So it was a really good, looking back, it was a really sweet environment to just not be on anything and just taking pictures because I have this camera, I have this roll of film, and it's summertime. Yeah. So I would just walk around and take shots and test the settings, and then I would just, like, go to friends and take pictures of them. So when I actually started up my Instagram, I had like an archive almost of just like a few months of pictures I had taken already that was just in my room chilling, and I was like, all right, like like I can start posting these and stuff, and it helped just for the detachment of it all, being able to like just post this stuff and being like, I don't care what happens regardless, because I really appreciate it on its own. Like this was like a really fun summer. Like I remember the day I took this, I remember the day I took that. So like from the beginning of the shyness and just unable to like really like even want to share myself with the world, to like today where like I'm comfortable and like regardless of how people take it, I'm just like cool putting stuff out there. I would definitely say it's been like half a year.
That's kind of like what we were talking about before when we were talking in the DM. Like as soon as you start putting yourself out there, it's like,
exactly. Like people come and things happen. Like it's been a really sweet time so far. Just even like from the beginning of this year onward, because like it was very I went to an art show and like I had my camera and I was taking pictures of people, and they're like, oh, what's your Instagram? And I was like, I don't even have one, man. Like I'm just here. Like don't even worry. But just how many people asked for it, and like I would show the people the pictures on my phone and I would whatever, and they're like, this is like so nice, like you should totally post it. So then like I went with a friend who's like a super amazing artist on her own, and she was just like, yeah dude, like start it up, like see what happens. So then like from that, like just meeting so many people, connecting with so many people, even you, like I wouldn't be here if Instagram like hadn't mediated all of it, you know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate being able to like connect and like get opportunities and just like share stuff that I'm proud of with the world, but in a way that doesn't like affect my understanding or value of myself. Like I'm really taking pictures and like I'm really making stuff for like heart work. Like it's personal, it's good heart stuff work. Heart work, you know what I mean? Like that's it's really heart work. So like thank you. Like no, it's me being myself and trying to like meet myself through this medium of like connecting with people. Like even the idea of like having to speak to people and being like building a connection to the point where I'm like, hey, I want to take a picture of you. Like it's like I think at some point of myself I wouldn't have been able to do it, like, you know what I mean, to just talk to strangers like that. So definitely within all of this, it's helping me get closer to myself and like my true self, and like that just like total like open and free and good and strong and confident like self. Like it really has helped the process, I feel, in like a really subtle way, because it's not about me. Like it's not like I'm taking pictures of myself necessarily. It's like me working on other people, but just being able to like open up more so that they can open up more. Because like if I'm all like super shy and weird, it'll make them obviously be like, okay, what is this? Like I'll be 100%. Not, you know what I mean? But yeah, like taking pictures and like just making stuff and being out there with even the art shows and just talking to people and stuff, it's definitely helped me grow in myself in getting to that place where there really isn't much I'm ashamed of, you know, or much that I like want to hide from. Like I'm who I am and I'm like here for it, you know?
That's really good.
I definitely appreciate being able to be in this space where through the stuff that I want to do, I'm able to like let go of a lot of like understandings of myself that just don't make sense anymore, you know? Like I used to say I'm like a shy person or like an introvert and like all this stuff, and I'm like, you're not, dude. Like you just didn't like yourself.
True.
Yeah. So like it brings something out of you, like being able to like put yourself out there and just be like, this is my work and this is what I love and this is what I'm doing, that like it's true and it helps and it's like good to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So like a little while back, you said you're not good at expressing your emotions. But
yes.
I think you are. I think it's just that you do it a different way.
Yes. I definitely agree with that. I think like words and talking and conversation is a little too in my face. Like, like it's like if something were to be put in front of me, or if I was like trying to process like something heavy that happened to me, it'd be so hard for me to say, this is what hurt me and this is how it makes me feel and this is what it's doing to me. But being able to like make something out of it, like that makes sense to me, because then I still get it all out and I still express myself, but it's done in a way that I see as like constructive at least, or like productive even, and just like it like I can work through so many like emotional things just through like making a collage, you know, just using the different symbols and stuff. And again, like having that physical form in front of you, it really does make you feel like, all right, I can let this go now. I've like, you know, like just closure. Like gathering and putting it away and putting it onto something and being like, all right, I'm over that. I'm done that now. Yeah.
It's out of me.
Mm-hmm, exactly. It's out of me, because I don't know, like conversations can get heavy sometimes. You know what I mean? Like going to a person and being like, what you did, like did not sit right with me, was not good. Like sometimes you don't even know why you're bummed on it. You're just like, all right, I don't like that. So yeah, like it gives me the space to deal with the emotions and get to a place to it where I can like be okay with it, whether it's a good emotion or a bad emotion. I work through it, and I'm like, by the end of whatever I'm doing, or by the end of everything, it's like on a neutral level where it's not like influencing me negatively, but it's also expressed if it's really, really good and I love it and I want to share it. Yeah. So I'm thankful for being able to make stuff essentially.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I guess a lot of your emotions come through in everything you do then. And then like that's because like I was talking to this guy Carl.
Yes.
And we were talking about the creative. He brought up how the creatives are usually broken in some way. And that's why they're able to create so well. And it's just funny how I talk to each person, like they bring up a thing that like they can't hack or can't deal with.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree with that too, for a real way. It like there is. I feel like every person has a certain level of like brokenness within them, you know what I mean? And I think people go through that in different ways, and there obviously is a way that's expected of you, you know, like that they see in society. You're supposed to like talk it out and get your feelings out and sit down, and just like for some people that doesn't really work. Like that just doesn't do any, it almost makes things worse having to like hash it out like that. So definitely, even in terms of like inspiration and like what I want to express and how I want to express it, it does have not so cool experiences littered amongst it, but like in that sense it's not even not so bad anymore. It just like it's become something good through being able to make something cool out of it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
that's true, right? Because like even if it's a bad emotion, you make something out of it.
Exactly. And it's like so much better to like express that than repress it, you know? Like if you repress all those bad feelings, then it's just like it changes you. But then if you can like express it and make it something, even if it's uncomfortable, it still ends up like what you need
and helping you grow.
Exactly.
Instead of like holding you back.
Exactly.
Poisoning you.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like all this.
Sick. I do too.
So photography, film. Yeah, I really think you should get into film. I keep thinking that as we're talking, I'm like, why aren't you like a director?
Oh my gosh. No, yeah, this conversation's actually making like film become like a real notch in my head.
It's because being able to express yourself through the written word and through speaking is like a huge part of like as I like learn and like see directors doing stuff.
Yes.
Biggest part.
It's true.
And like when you can lay it out and when you really know yourself, because you seem like self-aware, right?
Thank you. Yeah. There's definitely the past couple of years really brought me to this point I'm at now. Just like, again, like having most of the stuff you believe about yourself getting shaken up, you have to sit and be like, all right, what do I want to take then, and what's been put on me? Yeah. And like separating that really has helped me just feel more comfortable in myself and in my abilities and what I want to do, essentially. Yeah.
Definitely. Wow. Yeah, I keep thinking about that. But so when it comes to creativity, sorry. It's okay. When it comes to creativity, I don't know, what else is there for you? Like how do you feel about creativity in general when it comes to the creatives? Expressing it. I can't really think of anything because I want to talk about creativity, but I'm not sure where to go with you.
Go anywhere.
Yeah, because we can go to film, we can go to collage.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess we'll just stick to film.
Yes.
Other creative inspirations other than David Lynch.
Other than David Lynch?
Yeah.
Okay. So Studio Ghibli. I always pronounce that word wrong. Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, like those kind of films. Yeah. I'm cool. Like, I actually am obsessed with cartoons. Like
I was gonna ask, you're into anime?
Yeah, I love anime. It's actually my brothers that got me into it, like on a real way, because they were like obsessed with Naruto. So I was like, hey, what's up?
Naruto.
Yeah.
All my younger people tell me to watch Naruto.
Yes.
So I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Watch Dragon Ball, right?
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm about. Yeah, like I watch a lot of animated TV shows and like Samurai Jack and Adventure Time and Steven Universe, and I actually just watched Fist of the North Star. It's like
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was like it's connected in Wu-Tang, like it has a lot of stuff. Yeah, so like those, like I'm obsessed with old 80s like anime, like just the way it looks, like, you know, like just kind of like the colors of it all, everything. Like I feel like having that kind of cartoon love, so it will like go into my head regardless, like, you know, like I definitely will get influenced by that. In terms of other directors, I really like, so Francis Ford Coppola. I'm obsessed with like mafia movies. Like they're really? So good. Yeah, like just those were, I find that with those films, that idea of cinematography comes in the craziest, because like it's like that scene in The Godfather when they were doing the baptism, but then on the other side was like that shooting and they had like the church music playing over top. Like you can't like get those scenes out of your head, you know what I mean? Like just the juxtaposition of like this peaceful like good with like straight up violence. Like Stanley Kubrick, A Clockwork Orange, I really like that. Horror movies are my jam. I love Rob Zombie. I love everything that he does. Like the Halloween remake, there was this one scene where like, again, it's like the mom, keep going.
Yeah, I just gotta fix the lights
for sure. So even with the Halloween remake, they had this one scene where Love Hurts is playing, and they have Love Hurts playing, and Mike Myers' mom is like basically stripping, you know, she's at her job right now trying to do everything, and it's like done under this like soft pink neon light, and she looks like beautiful, but then like Mike Myers is literally killing his family, and Love Hurts is still playing over all of it, and I'm just like, that kind of like disruption of peace is the stuff I'm into. Like having just like really good, and like I don't know, there's a lot of directors I've really been getting into. Wong Kar-wai, and my friend actually put me on Chungking Express. It was like this old like movie from the 80s or 90s, and even the way that's done, again, Sofia Coppola. I'm really into Spike Jonze. Okay. I'm really into Wes Anderson.
Hold on one second. Okay. So give me your photography inspirations.
Photography inspirations. My photography inspirations, I find, are actually a lot more modern. Yeah. Like there's definitely Petra Collins. She's actually from Toronto too, but like she's like wild, you know. She's like got her career up there. I find that I found a lot of inspiration for photography itself through forms of like Tumblr and Instagram. Yeah. Actually, and just seeing people who are around my age, around my like demographic, doing their thing, and how the colors ended up showing, and just like the times that we're in now elicit so much creativity photography wise from young minds, that like in that sense I love just looking around me. Like I just love looking at like what's going on around the city from me, what's like Petra Collins, I find, has been the heaviest influence in terms of photography, because hers is like dreamwave, like, you know what I mean, like everything looks like it could be like out of a fairy tale. And like she shoots a lot on film too. Chuck Grant, she's actually Lana Del Rey's younger sister, but she's like an amazing photographer. She does a lot of her stuff on film too. Emma Tillman, she, like, most of the people that I are drawn to in film take pictures on film. So it's like just through seeing like their work and their process, it's like beautiful to see, because like they take like such minimal and like normal things and just make it look like mind-blowing. There's Ray's World. I'm not even sure what his real name is, but like he's on Instagram, and he's I've seen that, like that, his stuff, like so sick to me. Like actually when I'm thinking of like shooting friends or shooting on the fly, like I draw a lot of inspiration from his work, just because of how like in your face it is, and like in a cool way, like everything looks sick, like just because of how it is. So definitely that idea of just capturing life in its like rawness, and having just like, you know, the black background, the person in the middle doing whatever they're doing, bright colors, saturated colors, like very rich, like neon aesthetic kind of thing, was like those influence my pictures. But then like just with how I am as a person, it turns into like a kind of softness, you know, a kind of like like just I find that with everything I'm attracted to, and it's like it's almost like an aggressive nature made peaceful, made chill. Like when you're looking at it, you're kind of like, I don't know, but like, you know what I mean? Like it definitely, that's what I go for when I'm shooting like my friends or shooting random shots in the night. I love shooting at nighttime. I found like definitely, like just Instagram and creatives doing their thing, and like people kind of showing what they show is my influence in terms of photographers on its own.
I thought I was gonna catch you there, because you gave all these great film inspirations. And I was like, this girl should be in film, and then I asked about the photography, thinking that it would be small, and then you gave it just as big.
No, I love everything, you know.
That's nuts. That's really good though. That's really good.
I find since I was taking in a lot of stuff before I started making my own stuff, I was able to really look at everything. Like, you know, like I was really just like looking, it'd be stuff I'd pass by on and it would catch my eye, and I'm like, yo, who is that? What is that? And now like I love them as a photographer. I see their work everywhere. I see them doing amazing big things. But then it's like, because of that, just like there's a lot of influence and like things I can go into on all the influences, because I didn't only learn about them for my craft. I appreciate what they did as just like someone watching, and now it just so happened that I've fallen into the same craft, so I can use all that stuff I loved and be like, okay, what from myself then do I want to share? Like, how do I want to show myself? How do I feel like my pictures will best represent who I am? Like, you know, like how essentially can I show myself through these pictures I'm taking? Like, which way do I want to go? So that definitely is where I'm at with all of this.
That's really intriguing. How do you go about doing that? Because like that is something that I think all creators
honestly, I just kind of, I don't know, like I believe in myself that there's certain things I'm attracted to. Like I'm attracted to the dark side, you know, like I like the dark side, the weird side. I love softness. I love like neon. I love kind of like dangerous and like just fun and full and rich things. So I find that when I'm taking pictures, there's obviously a spectrum to it all, because on that same like right on the left side, I love like really tender, really like intimate, almost soft and like hazy kind of scenes. Like it definitely is like, I feel like if you look at the work I kind of have posted now, there is like that contrast of like the kind of like lively, rich, in your face, kind of bright, but then the soft, tender kind of like almost like you're peeking in on someone's like life, like, you know, like you're almost like looking into a window of like a house somewhere. You're like, wow, like that's so sweet, but it's just like it's that. But then it also turns into like really like in your face, like flash on, like nightlife, you know, like we're partying and this is what I'm showing and like it's good. And I think because of that, it's who I am that I'm showing through the pictures, in terms of like the way that you would see me. Like I feel like a lot of my friends end up saying that like they know I'm the one that took that picture. You know what I mean? Just from whatever it is, because I have those elements that I just really understand about myself that I want to show to people.
Do you show yourself through like your beliefs or through your interests?
I think it's my beliefs. I think at the top of everything, it's my beliefs, and then it trickles down to interest, to admiration, to inspiration. Like, I think like I believe in like people being free. You know what I mean? At like my base, like I believe in like the freedom of bodies, of selves, of like cultures, of like humans, of everything. I believe that everyone should like really be able to appreciate themselves, and like society a lot of the time really does have a constructive view of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And I found that growing up and just being who I am, I always fell into the group of people who like what you're about isn't necessarily the good, you know? It's not the accepted, but it just fostered so much fun. Like, you know, like that was the thing. Like it wasn't necessarily the good thing or the right thing, but it's in its messiness, it was free. It was free and it was enjoyable. And like I don't even feel like you'd want to be like a part of society's conventions right now. Like, you know, like you want to be able to like be yourself and show yourself in genuineness and authenticity. So like that always has been a striving factor just for me, like pushing through life. So definitely through art, that is something I want to express like a lot, because I do believe in everyone being of value and everyone being able to hold space. So there's no one person or one type of person I want to take pictures of. I just want people in their happiest, most comfortable states, and me being like, all right, we're gonna remember that forever.
Yeah. That's a really good way to go about it.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Thank you.
How old are you?
24.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
Very, very self-aware.
Oh 24. Yeah. Thank you. I'm trying.
Man, a lot of us gotta move out of the way and just let the younger generation take over.
Wow. That's so kind. Thank you. Thank you.
That's amazing. You know what I think you should do? I think you should I think if you go to school in BC, that like you'll have a lot of fun and then you'll come back to Toronto. But I think if you stay in Toronto, you'll become like semi-famous.
Really? Yeah. Dang. Oh, whoa. Famous.
Semi, like in Toronto.
Yeah,
like,
which is cool. There. Yeah, definitely. I think, and that's definitely what's holding my decision between the two. Not necessarily the fame, but just the fact that I've kind of already got my foot in. I'm like starting. I'm like making homies. I'm like doing things. So definitely in that sense, Toronto is so appealing, because like I'm like it's I know myself, and the scene here is so like community based too. Like really a lot of the people I've met has been like, I met them one night at something random and they'll hit me up and be like, wow, I love your stuff, we should work together, or wow, this is going on, you should go to this. Like it's very welcoming. Well, at least the people I've met. So I've been lucky pretty much. The people I've met have been really, really into putting others on and just being like, yo, I'm doing this. You should do this. We should do this. And like, that's like beautiful to me. Because at the end of the day, like really all of this stuff goes back to the idea that like I love being around people and I love making friends and I love meeting new people and just having their experiences and learning about them and stuff. So being in a place where like the art scene doesn't seem isolating or doesn't seem like it's like extremely pretentious. Like I don't like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if I would have been able to do this and want to do this if I found that the experiences I had put like a kind of vibe that like you're like it's too good for you. You know what I mean? If there was definitely that level of pretentiousness, I don't know if I would have cared to like keep going. But like I've been really lucky with the experiences I've had and the people I've met for them just being so welcoming and so open that all of this is just like a fun ride right now. So like it definitely is. But then BC's BC and like I love the world and I love nature and like I want, you know, like there's that experience of just like, I think for my overall self, BC would be like really nurturing and really good. But I think for where my head's at right now and just where I see life going and where I see myself wanting to go, Toronto makes sense. So we'll see where I end up for sure.
And when it comes to school, you said you want to take holistic medicine?
I'm going into holistic nutrition.
Really?
Yes.
How are we not going into film? How's that not happening? Why is that not happening?
I just feel like my creative endeavors could be stifled, or school's a stressful place for me. At the end of the day, school, I feel like
it'll,
it
it'll make what you love into like a chore.
Exactly. Yeah. And that I have a tendency to drop things real quick when
I hear
you know what I mean, like
I dropped out of school
it took everything not to drop out of school. Like it took everything, but I'm obsessed with sociology, like on a base level of just like knowledge and learning. Like sociological thought and theory is like beautiful to me. Like it really, I'm glad I went to school for that. I really, really am. But the school aspect of it made me not even like I would like, you know what I mean? Like you don't just read books for fun when you're like have 3 papers freaking due. Like you can't just do things. So like I feel like if I had gone to school for art, for film, for photography, it would have changed and also made me want to like make myself very straightforward, structured, exactly. And I feel like the reason why I'm thriving in certain aspects and like really appreciating all of this is the lack of structure in it all, you know? Like I don't have to label myself. I don't have to say I am anything. I can just make and put it out there, and you can digest it because it is what it is, you know? Like I'm not like technically taught on anything that I do. Like everything I do is pretty intuition based. Like I just kind of pick something else and I'm like, okay, let's hope this works, and I test it and play with it until it becomes a space that I understand it, and then I use it. Like my camera, I literally bought it from Value Village. Like I got
Value Village again. Wow.
Yeah, like I don't know, that's my thing. I'm a thrifter, man. I really am a thrifter. So like with all of that, I picked it up from Value Village. It didn't even have like a book or anything, and I just kept pressing buttons and trying to figure out which settings I liked the pictures on and how I liked it. And then I like already kind of had a base knowledge of like just photography period because I worked in a photo lab in high school. So like it has been a wild ride of just like learning as I'm doing, and like school kind of forces you to have to understand and have to know and like stick with it, because if you don't stick with it, you fail.
Yeah, that's very true. Like as I do all this, like I'm a videographer, but like I don't know my camera.
Yeah, right.
I know what I want. That's
exactly.
Like I know when I want it dark. I know when I want it light.
Yep. And I think that's even why I was more drawn to film over digital, for the fact of like digital, there's a technicality to it and definitely a know-how to elicit what you want it to look for. And the way I wanted my pictures to look is how they look on film, but I would have to work to get it to look like that on digital. And that would have been too much for me, you know? And it wouldn't have been the same. Like this, like I feel like taking pictures with my camera right now is so intuitive. Like I'm just kind of standing there, I walk around, I press a button. Like you can't go back and look at it, you can't go back and change anything, you can't go back and like say you don't like this or like this. The picture is itself and everything in it is of itself. You can't like go back and switch the background to make it lighter or the person into more focus. There's just a genuine in and out concept that comes with film that like works with my head and just makes sense to me. So it definitely is. And like in the future, I definitely will go more into it because I want to be able to just like know my craft. But definitely, I don't think school wise would help me. I just don't think so. You know, like the 100%. Purpose these serve, like again, it's hard work. Like it serves like a personal kind of like way for me to deal with the world and a way for me to express myself in the world. And with that, like I don't necessarily need school for that. I can just keep 100%. Going.
Like I wanted to go to school for this stuff, but like I couldn't. Like it was so expensive.
Exactly.
Like, fuck it.
I'm like, look at you now. You have a whole setup. You know what I mean? Right. And again, like the love is always like pure and genuine. Again, it's not goal oriented. It's not anything. And that was it. Like that was even why I didn't go to school for writing. Like that was really what I was going to go to school for. And then I sat there one day and I was like, are you really going to like make this a thing? Like everything I do, like I go months without writing a poem, and then I could go a week and write one every single night. So, but you can't necessarily follow that schedule when you're in school or if it's a career based thing. Like you have to be putting out constantly. And I think for me, the reason why like I just like really am proud of my work and appreciate it is because it's done when I'm feeling it. Like when I actually have that inspiration and know where I'm going and have a clear idea of it, I'm able to put it out into the world. But if it was something that I just had to keep pumping out and keep like putting into the world, it would start to become way too like lackluster, you know. It would just become the same thing because you just need something to put it somewhere. So no, I definitely try to. There's certain loves of mine that I don't think would work in institutions, so I keep those separate, and then the ones that I feel like will work, I can go to school for.
That makes sense. That's a good reason. It's extremely fuck school. Fuck it.
Essentially, do what you love, regardless.
Wow, true. Yeah. So you're talking about your process. You kind of like just you grab it and then you just try and just see what it turns into.
Yeah, essentially.
Like, how does that begin with let's say a picture, like I guess a photo shoot?
Yeah, so with my camera, actually, it so I think it was one of the newer kind of film, like right before digital came out, almost, because it's like autofocus, auto zoom, like it basically handles itself for the most part, except seeing the picture. Like it's everything that's like everything that you could have, but it's not digital. So it works because a lot of the settings I just don't even understand. Like it's pictures, it doesn't even explain it to you. So in that sense, like I know now which, like I had to learn that like you need direct light on the pictures. Like when I first started taking pictures, a lot of them ended up really dark. Even though it seemed like the room was bright and everything was cool, it ended up really dark. So learning about the actual technicalities of picture taking and of light source and of like space and a person in the space and how to get the shot you want focused and like not perfect necessarily, but focused and lovely. The colors are coming out right or even coming out weird, like the effects you need. It definitely was a learning process of me going out and just shooting. So I'd come back with like rolls sometimes where like 4 pictures ended up super sick, but it's a 36 roll and I'm just like, I tried. You know what I mean? And like even that, like I've always been open to the mistakes, even like whatever comes from it, I'm appreciating it because I know I'm learning. And I know that I literally just picked this up and have no background knowledge and know nothing. So like, how can I be mad at whatever I'm trying? Like I'm trying. Yeah. So definitely that. Always the idea of just being open and understanding to yourself and to what's going on, because like again, I didn't go to school for any of this. This wasn't a part of my life for like, it's been a part of my life, I guess, thematically, but like technically actually talking, like logistically, it hasn't been. Like I'm like shit with technology, you know what I mean? Like I don't like things, like I don't like, technology is wild to me. So all of that being the process, like I do have to learn, and it is a slow one, but I find that I'm coming into myself. And now, like, I could get a roll back and there's, like, 2 that didn't really make sense, but the rest are working. And I think with that, it's, like, really cool to see because, like, even from this, like, I do want to venture off into more film cameras, into different millimeters, into different styles, into the ones where everything's, like, you putting it together on your own. Like, you know what I mean? In terms of the shot, like, setting the focus, setting the zoom, taking the shot, like, all of that. Because there is a real magic in being able to just, like, whatever the camera offers is what you have to take. Like, you know what I mean? Specifically in film, like you can't change anything. You have to learn what it does. So yeah, it's really cool for me to just like figure things out and like kind of play around with things until they make sense.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it just kind of goes, you just kind of do it until it sticks.
Yes, essentially. Yeah.
That's pretty much, that's what I do here. Basically.
Sick. Yeah, and it works. I really do feel like it works. This is like a chill environment.
Yeah, every time something fucks up, I'm just like
we'll see.
I posted one interview where like the audio was fucked and I was just like, here it is.
I'm still giving it to you guys.
Yeah, and then I actually had a guest. He's like, why didn't you explain like why you did that? And I'm like, I don't. It's called the process. Thought it was self-explanatory.
Yeah, right.
It's a process.
Everything's getting figured out as we go along.
Yeah, basically. Like I'm not gonna like reshoot something.
No. Of course not. Yeah. And this ends up being like sicker, essentially. Whatever it is actually what it is. So you're just like, here you go.
Yeah. Like one time I had a guest and they were like, I said a lot of ums and ahs. I hope you can take it out. I'm like, I'm not gonna take it out. That's how you talk. That's That's what you sound like.
Exactly. The free form of it all. Yeah, no, that's definitely something I could get behind.
True.
Yeah.
I really have to connect you with my friend. We're going to do that after.
Yes, I'm down.
Because he actually wants to start an interview segment here as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm like the guy who's just bullishly interviewing everyone I can. And he's the guy who's like, he finds like a connection and like he takes his time and like he prepares for like a week and a half before he interviews the person.
That's cool.
Maybe you saw it. It was actually the interview called Tatted Monkey.
That's so funny, actually. So there's actually been another person who's connected me, like wants to connect us, but through, because I want to, my like big summer project and probably like the first thing I'm going to like put together in like an actual like theme is I want to make a zine, and it's going to be a photography zine, and it's going to be just every person that I know that has tattoos, essentially. Yeah, like just pictures of their tattoos and their forms of expression and just how it all makes sense. But just there's not going to be any words, there's not going to be anything. It's just going to be like pages of just all the homies and their tattoos and stuff. Because like, yeah, like I end up have a lot of my friends have really beautiful pieces with really crazy meanings underneath, and it just like how they express that onto their body into the line work and into the images is like it blows me away.
We went through all his tattoos like on his like face and head. Oh my god, he did such a good job in picking each one and why it's there. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no, mine are a lot more haphazardly, but you know, there's a certain charm to that too. And I feel like, again, like I think I'm actually like a big picture person, you know, like the tattoos for me just express like certain themes I believe in and certain things that follow me through the world, and just an overall idea of like adornment and like body. Like I always have this thing where like I actually put the tattoos when I first started getting them on places of my body that I didn't necessarily like. Because I was just like, if there's this beautiful piece of art on you, you can't like talk shit about like your body, you know what I mean? You just can't. Like you seem like dumb for that. Like you have this cool tattoo, like appreciate that. So yeah, like tattoos help me work through so much like body weird issues and like stuff, and it's beautiful to me. Like I genuinely see it as an art. So like I think I'm really excited to use like photography and have that specifically on film and take pictures of my friends' body art and then like make a book out of it. So no, I'm really excited for that. And that was why like the one friend I had who had mentioned Tatted Monkey to me was like, yeah, you should probably see this dude, like he's sick. And like obviously like I admire him so much. Like I follow him on Instagram and stuff.
Definitely.
So
I'm supposed to meet up with him like next week.
Oh nice. No, definitely.
Sure
I definitely want to connect with him. He seems cool. I appreciate his work a lot.
I'll definitely make sure you guys talk.
Sick.
Because you guys are completely on the same wavelength.
Oh, sick.
I've talked to both of you for 2 hours, so believe me, I know.
My god, yes. It hasn't even felt like 2 hours. I'm like so comfy right now.
Wow, that's amazing. Really, that's a really cool project too. Definitely, if you want some of the mushrooms, let me know.
Yeah, I have my camera today actually, and I was looking at your arm. It looks sick.
Yeah, this one's actually from Hawaii.
Oh my goodness.
And if you actually met the guy who did this, he's such a talented artist, like a painter.
Yeah.
Aside from that, and he has the same thing that Tatted Monkey has with his head tattoo.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Everywhere. But he's so connected to like the spiritual and the mystic and all that stuff we've been talking about. So like I was telling him about mushrooms and everything. He's from LA. He's like, that's what's up. I didn't know what to do. He just starts doing it, and like he just like drew it out. And,
wow,
like, I was like,
and that's a beautiful piece. Yeah, goodness gracious.
It's a straight up mushroom mandala.
Yeah,
like, those are mushrooms. These are mushrooms.
Oh my god.
And in my mind, these are like angels. So like this is a mushroom, and then like an angel comes out of it, and the angel's holding a mushroom.
Giving you the magic.
Yeah,
that's so sick. And my gosh. And
he freehanded this
really?
Yeah. He just left it blank. He's like, I'm gonna do my thing.
I'm gonna figure it out.
I'm like, sorry, what?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's actual talent. I have such an appreciation for people who like do tattoos Like it's a beautiful art form.
And while he was doing it, about like 6 people came in to watch his line work. So apparently like it was like known in Honolulu that like he was the one to like look at.
Wow.
You should see his work. You'll really like it.
Yeah, I want to know his Insta after and check him out.
Yeah. Social ink slinger, I believe.
Social ink slinger.
Yeah. Sick. And I got that one in Vegas. That was crazy. I got it on the Strip. I got like the real Vegas experience.
Yeah.
Walking down the street like, hey, I'm gonna get a tattoo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm actually getting tattooed on Saturday. There's this there's this artist coming from Brooklyn.
Really?
Tattoo Popo. They're sick. So they call their work folk poke because they do a lot of hand poke tattoos.
Yeah.
But then it's all done in very like straight black lines of like animals and figures, and like it looks almost like tribal in its essence. Like, you know what I mean? Like some kind of like weird hieroglyph from the past. But like I'm super excited. I follow a bunch of tattoo because when I first started getting tattoos, it was actually like my ex-partner that was doing them all for me because he does them.
Okay.
But then I just, because of Toronto obviously and being here and all that stuff, now I've like been noticing that there's a lot of tattoo artists that are just like independently doing their own thing. So I kind of started checking them out, and I love all their work. So there was one of them that posted about like this one's Tattoo Popo's residency in Toronto, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna be here from the 3rd to the 6th, so if you want to get tattooed, like DM me. So I was like, hello there. Can I? So yeah, I'm getting a piece from them. And I think even that like relationship of like art on your body from different artists around the world and like gathering all of them and having them on you, like that collection in itself is like beautiful. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting a flash piece done from like the one that I'm doing on Saturday. Like I just love their work so much that I just want whatever they've been doing already on me. Like it'll be sick. Yeah. Really? I love it all, man.
Yeah, I've been doing that with this piece. So this piece is from someone just down the street. This is from Vegas. This is from like Black Cloud Studio.
Yeah.
Jay Inky. This is from Hawaii, and this one was in LA actually.
Sick.
Dr. Memo, he called himself.
That's cool.
That was like a really cool one because we landed in LA. And like I called my buddy John, and I was like, yo, I gotta get a tattoo. He's like, cool. I haven't seen you in like a couple years. Yeah, okay. So he picks me up, and like we drive to the tattoo place right away. And then my other buddies go to like a comedy's place. So I get the tattoo, and then like we leave right away, go to the comedy show. It was just like this tattoo was still a little fresh. It was like there's so much going on.
I love that.
It was such a cool experience.
Definitely.
It was literally like a house like this size, filled with tattoo artists.
Just amazing.
Like tattoos going on everywhere. And I'm like, how many tattoos do you do? He's like, I do like 10, 15 a day. I'm like, what?
Dang, yeah.
He's like, we work fast here. I'm like, fuck.
Apparently.
I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. That's sick. Yeah, I just got 2 pieces actually from this artist in Toronto. Her name's Humblebee Tattoo. And yeah, like amazing experience. Just even like meeting them and having that, and like it just, I don't know, there definitely is something about the art even of just the tattoo itself and connecting with these people, and they're like it's all sick. It's all sick, and I'm here for it. Yeah.
It's actually like these tattoos are actually what inspired this whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, because every time I do it, I would set up my camera. I'd ask them if I could like set up, and then all I wanted to do was like get little time lapses of the tattoos. But then like as I was sitting there and I noticed this dude's tattoos and everything, I'm like, I'm gonna start talking to this dude. And we started talking, started connecting. Talked about a lot of different stuff.
That's amazing.
Because the tattoo was like what 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So we're just sitting there just connecting on all this different stuff, and I was like, yo, this conversation was so good.
That's
and then the next one I did it, and then the next guy did it, and I was like,
this is becoming a thing now.
Yeah. At first I was like, yo, I want to cover my whole bodies in tattoos and like make that the show. But then I was like, yo, it's going to cost a lot of money. Maybe I should just talk to people.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
And get tattoos when I can.
Yeah, exactly. The tattoos can happen when you're ready, but those conversations can go on whenever.
Exactly.
That's sick. Yeah, I really like that. That's a really cool like birth of all of this from those. Yeah.
So weird. I have to actually edit those episodes and like put them up.
Yeah.
The lost
episodes. The lost files.
Basically.
Sick.
So, what else are you doing? Actually, you know what? Can you touch on your collective a little bit quickly?
Yes, I can. Las Lobas. Las Lobas is the love child. Yeah, it was like born last summer when we were like all stuck in Brampton, none of us were really working. It was me and a couple of yoga kids. We were like bored, just bored out of our minds. And we were like, wouldn't it be so cool if we could just like kind of throw parties and make art and like show off each other's like talents and big up people who like don't really get the shine and like just like do all this stuff and like have it be connected to like spirituality and the mystic and like the stuff that just like kind of drives us. And I have this like beautiful friend, Sarah Moe, who's actually based in Montreal, but her family's from Brampton. So we met at the yoga studio. Like she had just come back for the summer. She had been gone for so long and I had started there too. So we just like became friends. She was friends with other people who had already been in the studio because she had been there for a while. Yeah. But she had come back and we just like hit it off totally and just like spent like an unreasonable amount of time together that summer. So then through talking and stuff, we really just kind of like started getting together and really talking about like the art thing, because that was when I had just started like wanting to emerge, and she already like paints and writes and is just like mad talented on every front. So I was just like, just her talking about her experiences really just like held space for me to be like, yeah, I want to kind of get into this, like I want to do this. And she was like so supportive. And then Las Lobas, the name specifically came from there's this book, Women Who Run with Wolves. Okay. And it's the idea of women getting back to that part of themselves that was like uncontrolled and free and messy and aggressive and wild, but just like still so true. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like there's this one myth of the La Loba, who is basically the wolf woman who goes around gathering bones of her ancestors and stuff, and she makes a wolf out of all of the bones and breathes and sings onto this animal and brings it back to life. Huh. Yeah, so that was essentially cool. Like the spirit of this collective is taking the mystic and the free and kind of like the unexpected, specifically of women of color, because like that's a big part of our collective, is the idea of like brown girls doing stuff that people don't think brown girls do. You know what I mean? Because there's an image, obviously, and they want to typecast you and they want to like put you into the stereotypes in these boxes, but like really like each and every one of us are so different but so dynamic. So like being and holding space for that to like really showcase it and showcase our creativity, but just showcase like what it is, like, you know what I mean, what else is out there as just like women of color doing our thing in our environments that doesn't necessarily hold us to any one specific type of character or type of person. So like it came from that. It was first me and Sarah Moe. We were talking about it, decided we were going to make it real. Sarah went back to Montreal. She has like the sickest friends in the world all over the place. So then she ended up reaching out to a couple of them. They were really down for it. I have a friend over here, the one I was talking about earlier, that started bringing me to all the art shows and stuff. Yeah. She wanted in on it. And now we're like this collective based out of Toronto and Montreal. And we're like doing our thing and like just trying. We're getting our feet started. Our first project's been a zine. Okay. It's called Oh My Goddess. It's basically it's a zine about feminine.
You know what? Can we just go over what a zine is for everybody?
Yes, we can. So honestly, I'm not too sure about the proper definition of what a zine is, but in my head, a zine's just like a little collection in book formatted form of whatever that person wants to express. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like really DIY. Well, it can be really professionally done, but like the ones that I find I've been drawn to are really DIY, kind of like just you putting together poems, stories, pictures, whatever can fit essentially on paper format, and like putting it together on your own and like putting it out there. Huh. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so like our zine's based on female deities across cultures all over the world, and essentially it's kind of like a book of myths of how we see them. So like for me, we asked a bunch of people, whoever wanted to submit could submit. We all made submissions ourselves. We basically chose a goddess from whatever culture we felt resonated with us or whatever we wanted to do. And then we created something in their spirit, like just being like, I'm going to express like this goddess or deity or like being makes me feel like this. So this is what I'm making. So yeah, that's what the whole zine's going to be about. I'm super excited for it to come out. It's like connection to ancestors and connection to root, but how it manifests for us in our day and age and for us personally while we're like living in 2018. Cause like that is a lot of what this is, like just a mashup of complete ancient understandings and ancestral understandings, but not having it come out as like traditional, let's say, or like as black and white, or as like sometimes contrived, even as those like really dated and like those kind of like back then ideas of like spirituality and goodness and like just being an experience, but having that like how it shapes us today and how it kind of touches ourselves and what it makes us like. So yeah, it's really exciting to be a part of.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes, thank you.
I like that. It's like drawing back from all the experiences.
Yes, exactly. And like that book was so like beautiful. It was like one of our friends had it and she shared it with all of us. So like, you know what I mean? It definitely has.
I like that story. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's a really good book, and it talks about all different types of myths, like like all the kind of archetypes that is associated with the feminine, and what that means and how it like manifests and what that does for us, and how it really there is like
this is like the divine feminine.
Yes, the divine feminine, like the feminine energy. Like there's so much actually that's like understood of like even men and women through myth and through archetype and through like literature and art and like culture. Like
definitely
really if we look at it like, and like all of that ties back to like sociology and stuff, you know what I mean? Like if we really look at it, like the way we understand ourselves and the way we define ourselves comes from the way that is defined through culture. So like when we look at that, like we see like when we talk about like the nun, the mother, the whore, the wife, the virgin, like there are images that come into our head, and these are images that are associated with women every single day, even if it's not done like overtly with like, yeah, you're like this. It's done in the way we expect other women to be and expect other beings to be and other bodies to be. And like even with our collective, like we don't even keep it in like the gender binary of just like men and women. Like we're so inclusive to like LGBTQ, to trans, to non-conforming, to all queer identities and everything. Like it's the idea that we are as we are, fine. We're just understanding and divulging and connecting to feminine energy, which doesn't always have to be associated with feminine bodies or female bodies. Definitely. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like it's really exciting and innovative, and I love that it combines like our aspects of like the social conditions of today, because like, you know, like it's really cool like the divine feminine and like that idea of mysticism, but like sometimes it does take out and disregards the social conditions that like people are put in our day and age today. Like everything's cool and we're the divine feminine and we're this and that, but like society doesn't necessarily treat us that way. It doesn't treat all bodies that way. So how then can we combine our understandings of like injustice and of that, but bring it to a place where it doesn't even matter what's going on in the outside world? Like you are valid and you are good as yourself right here. So that's like a lot of what we try to bring together and touch on, and just show that we like appreciate, like we want to highlight like people of color, we want to highlight women of color, we want to highlight bodies that aren't necessarily like highlighted in mainstream society, in the mainstream art scene even, you know. So like there's a lot of parts of it that we want to include, but I think we're doing it in a way that's like organic and natural to us and just like makes sense, and it's working so far. So I'm excited.
That's really cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
You need to talk a lot more.
You
should be on Instagram, and like you should talk more because it'll bring more people to you that like you need around you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I
not in like a social climber way, but like it'll attract your tribe.
No, for sure. I believe that. And like that is like, again, all of this stuff is really bringing me out of my shell in terms of like even expressing my own beliefs and talking about my beliefs and like saying kind of things that make me to the outside world. So I'm excited for that, because it's true. I have a lot of ideas and I really actually do love talking to people. So like it's sick, but just figuring out a way that I can do all of that and still have it be chill and have it be like normal and like nice for me. So yeah, I definitely see more conversations and more sharing happening in my future, and it's cool to connect with people on that kind of wave, because it is, you think of things you never even thought before, you see stuff in such different ways. Like there's so much I've learned from so many passing random conversations with strangers in like the past little while that's like definitely left an imprint on me, and has been like has aided and like fed this type of like self that I already am, that I just want to grow into more too. So like it's good. Connecting with people is amazing.
Like you said, it like kind of brings out more of you.
Yes. Just unlayering every single time. It's cool.
Yeah. So what else do you want to do with the photography? Like what do you have like going on? Do you have to go at all?
What time is it?
It's 5:33.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
We're good. Okay. Whatever happens here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so what else? Where do you want to go with photography? Do you ever want to be like a photographer like gets paid for shoots? Or do you actually just want to keep going with this vein of just like feeling it out and having fun?
I will never charge anyone for me to take pictures of them. But if an opportunity comes where getting paid is a thing, I'd be cool with it. But I won't gear my work towards that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I feel like I feel like situations and opportunities will come up where I'll be able to take pictures for things that may elicit like a pay or may elicit an actual like this is a job I'm working, like, you know, this is a gig. But I don't think I personally can go into it with the mind space of, okay, so this is my career now and I'm going to have to charge and have an hourly rate, and how are we going to make this a business type, which like, no issue obviously to anyone that does that, because if you can somehow combine your art with your work and make that your living, that's like amazing. But just for the purpose that I came into it with, and just even how like, again, like I'm not trained technically, I'm not, and that not to even negate that from the pay or from what's worth, but just for me it serves a different purpose. So I think to make it about that would make it way too hard, and it's just like I won't even know how to, am I a photographer for life now? Is this my job? Like, you know what I mean? Like it would bring so much that I don't know how I would handle it. So I'm just like going with the flow, and I'm open and I'm shooting, and whoever feels connected or feels like they want to reach out for me for some kind of work or some kind of thing, I would be down for, of course. But like, you know, I'm just letting things come as they do.
That's, as I do this whole thing, I think that's the better way to go about it, because like I'm doing videography work right now, like that I get paid for and stuff. It's good, but like it does make what you love into like a chore, and exactly. It's not as fun. Like right now I'm like, I just want to wrap these jobs up and like figure out how to like
do your thing.
Something else, because you gotta focus on what you love. Because like for you, like probably somebody approach you and be like, I need what you do, because only you
I would
can
hope.
do it, and
Let's
like,
hope.
you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's like, that would like, it's so humbling and like sick. Like I feel like that type of stuff like makes me so happy. Like even with the art shows and stuff, like I never went into photography thinking I was gonna like do an art show. Like I never even like been to one before like this year, like, or like before recently, and just like there's a lot of opportunities that have opened itself up that I'm like welcome to, but like I'm not necessarily attached to, which I feel like makes it good in a sense for me at least, because when I feel like I'm doing something that I want an end result to come from it, it's anxiety inducing, you know what I mean? Have you met your goals? Have you done what you need to do? All that stuff. And it just like, I don't want that to take away from the fun of this, because that's why I started it. It was because I was like mad bored at home, and I was like, I need to do something that feels like fulfilling. So like, I gotta do this. So I don't want to ever take away from its magic and from like the help it's given me by like making it really stifled and making it really like, this didn't garner what I needed. You know what I mean? Like, what do I need? Like, I don't, like, there's nothing that I'm looking for out of this. Like, I'm doing it genuinely because it makes me happy. So I'm with whatever comes with it for sure, because all of this exposure and all of these opportunities are so sick, and like somewhere where like you, when you're a kid, you always like, oh, well, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But like, you never really think it's going to happen. But then to even be in a place where stuff beyond what I even ever imagined is happening is like, you got to be grateful for that. So I definitely am open to any kind of projects and any kind of collaborations and any kind of anything, but it's definitely not something I'm gunning for a monetary value or for like a stability value or like some kind of like clear cut path. Like I'm just here for the fun of it all. Yeah. That makes the most sense. That's good. Thank you. It's good that you're going about it that way. Very well thought out. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't do any of that. I was like, I'm bored and I'm doing this video stuff. I'm like, I'm going to do 1,000 interviews. Yeah, but that's sick though. 1,000. It's amazing. And I feel like you're going to meet some cool ass people through all of this.
Yeah, I have, right?
Oh,
like, jeez.
sick. Yay.
Right? Yeah. A lot of stuff happens. So you're basically you're an artist. You're a real artist. The way you think and the way you're doing things.
Wow.
So is anybody else in your family besides your mom like artistically inclined at all?
My brother DJs. Like he just puts mixes out. Again, like music's been like a really huge part of our lives, and he like was playing football before. He was like the super like macho like dude, and like he's sick, but like yeah, he's always just had that undertone of like making all these like little playlists just kind of on his own for the fun of it all. And then again, he was chilling at home too, and he was like, yo, like I should start like playing parties and stuff, and I should just start doing stuff. And he just like he plays music all day at home, and it's like a party in the crib like every single day. Yeah, he's amazing. He mixes genres, he mixes like different tempos, and I feel like it's super sick that we're like Ghanaian, just because he like he adds in like elements of like traditional African and Ghanaian music, and like mixes it with like rap and trap and stuff from here, and just like the sound you get is like mind blowing. Like he doesn't let like genre stop him. He doesn't let any like the stuff like even this morning he was playing some stuff and I was like, I would have never thought to put those two songs together. True. Like ever. Yeah, so like he's super sick with it. He just went out to he was out and he got the opportunity to go out to South by Southwest. He was helping out one of his homies that were like performing there, so he got to be on and like did the mixing and the DJing for his performance and stuff. And like yeah, again, like I feel like his
Wait, you say South by Southwest?
Yeah, I did. Holy man fuck. He was out in Texas. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We tripped. He literally called me and I was working. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like,
I thought you were talking about like some Ontario thing. And
no, wait a second, no, yeah, South by Southwest, man, like that. Like I don't know, I have this super belief when like you like are aligning yourself with things that like actually genuinely make you happy, weird opportunities come to you, and like that's even what's happening right now, like all of this, you know what I mean? So like one of his friends hit him up, he came through, and like you can't get away from that experience, you know what I mean? Like he had a blast, like he had an absolute ball over there, and just regardless of wherever this ends up, he can say he performed at South by Southwest. Like no, that's crazy. What else? Yeah, so definitely me and my brother are the ones who kind of go out the most creatively in terms of like actually putting it out there. But like our whole family has like a vibe. Like my sister is obsessed with music. She like we were actually talking about it a couple of days ago, and like my brother was like, you do know you're the way you are because of like my sister's name's Abina, and I was like, why? And he's like, she made you watch all those weird films when you were a kid. Like really? Because she's a lot older than me, like not a lot, she's like 11 years older than me, but like anything she would watch I would watch, and she watched the most obscure stuff, but like stuff I wouldn't even think is obscure now, but then I like didn't even realize it. The first time I ever watched some of these films was like with my sister, who was just like playing it in the background. Like she put me onto so much like hip-hop and rap when we were younger. Just like yeah, like even if like she's a nurse, my youngest brother's in university, like even though there's not like an active like I am creating for this and this and this, there's definitely a vibe of just taking in good, weird, awesome things to open your mind. So yeah, I'm really, really lucky.
That's really cool. And you say she was playing obscure films, but like was there a reason for it?
She likes them. Yeah, like she just likes certain things. Like there was like Interview for a Vampire, let's say, like that one, like I was young, I was like in grade like 2 or 3, and I'm watching this weird like vampire movie, and then they're like, there's no wonder like horror movies, we would watch them together as a family at like Friday nights, like really? Yeah, like that's and cool. I would never even think about it, but like the first time I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first time I watched like all these crazy slasher films, we were like sitting in the living room with my mom, and like all of us just on the ground like watching it, like terrified, but like that was our weekends when we were growing up. Wow. Yeah, so like I just got really lucky with the people I was around. They just never thought like, you know, there was never that situation of like, oh, she's too young, or like they're too young. Like my youngest brother, oh my god, when he was like 2, he was obsessed with there's this movie called 13 Ghosts, and it's just like this really crazy like B movie like slasher ghost killer, like gory, and he watched it every single day for a year. He was obsessed with it. He was just like so into it, and we never thought it was weird. We were just like, oh, like whatever. He's terrified of horror movies now. He won't touch one. He won't watch them. But like that was I don't know, man. I have no clue. But that was the type of space we grew up in, where just like we watched really weird things and it wasn't made to be weird. So like we kind of just learned about them. So like, yeah, I definitely thank my family for letting me be who I am today. Yeah, my mom, man. Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, she's really good.
For sure.
Documenting everything, making sure you guys see horror movies.
Yes. I feel like horror movies are so underrated.
Yeah. Especially the bad ones.
Exactly. Especially the bad ones. But even those have some magic in them, man. Yeah. For sure.
The fact that they get made is the magical thing.
Yeah, and just like to make a horror movie even like good or bad, like there's elements of it that you can't get in any other genre. And it really does touch on like the occult more, the mystic more, you know, like that kind of idea. You get them more in horror movies, and just like, you can make a horror movie like beautiful and make it scary at the same time. And that's like the perfect balance.
Yeah. There is a movie like that. I can't think of what it's called right now. I can picture the scenes. It might be called like Predator, but it's not that Predator. It's a very weird horror movie.
Yeah,
I love horror movies because I want to actually direct music videos and stuff.
Sick.
And every time I come up with an idea, it's always fucked up.
Yes, and that's what we need.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking. Like, I was listening to this song called "Mark My Words" by Justin Bieber, and it sounds like so nice. And I'm like, it should be like a room where this guy's looking at all these pictures of this girl. It's all dark.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden the camera goes down and he has like a knife and he's saying, "Mark my words, we're going to be together." And then it pans over and there's a cage.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's such a sick way to do that.
And it's just like a weird wall. And you see him walk to the cage and then she just screams and it's black.
I love that. I love sketchy, dark things over like seemingly pleasant stuff, you know? You're just like, oh, this is so lovely, and then you see and you're like, never mind, this was terrible. That's
exactly
sick.
What I want to do.
Oh my god, amazing. I
can't wait till I get the opportunity.
Yes, definitely.
It's just hard because when it's horror, there's so much more that goes into it with video, the makeup and the blood, and this and that. It's all real expensive shit.
Of course. Oh my gosh, totally.
And it's like, if you don't get it in that take, it's like,
gotta do it all over. Like, it's true. Horror is definitely costly and pricey and intense. Kind of dynamic to get into, just because of what you actually have to do to make it unsettling. You know what I mean?
That's a good word for it. To make it unsettling. Build the suspense.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's where the fear is.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's always why I love horror movies. It's not even like the big like poppy parts that like jump out you. It's like the literal fear sitting there holding your breath while someone's like walking and doesn't know what's coming. You're like, shit. Like, whenever a horror movie gets silent, that's when I start getting scared. I'm like, something bad's gonna happen in 3 seconds and I can't gauge it.
There's a guy who I forget what his name is, but he started making short horror stuff, and it led to him making a feature film called Lights Out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Lights Out. Like, I really
like that?
It's terrifying. Lights Out made me sick. Like,
every time that I have the fucking lights on in here and the lights are off out there, I'm like, fuck, man, if that fucking girl ran at me right now, I just
Lights Out was, oh my god, I didn't know that's how it came into like being. That's amazing.
I should actually show it to you. Oh man. Creator of Lights Out. It was actually just a short that he made, and people were like, this needs to be a whole movie.
Wow.
Like, the concept for Lights Out was that's his name, David F. Sandberg.
David F. Sandberg.
Yeah, you gotta watch this guy's. Oh, I'll actually find it for you.
Yes. Seriously, I'm down to watch that.
Oh, I wonder if this is it. Yeah, this is it.
Oh shit. Okay.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. So yeah, it's just called Lights Out. And he used to do these shorts. This is his wife.
Aw, sick.
Like, this is their apartment.
I love that.
And the thing went away. And then it's there. I'm still getting goosebumps. Is it getting
closer?
Oh, yeah.
I'm literally already shaking. Whew.
Right? And that's in your house.
Yeah, exactly. I feel her for sure.
Just taping the light switch. So
we will not go off.
Right now we're watching Lights Out. Bear with us.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yep.
Holy shit. Have you ever seen Darkness Falls?
No.
Okay, so those were one of those obscure film fucking movies that my sister it like had it was a killer tooth fairy. It was a killer tooth fairy, but it was done like extremely like sketchy. It was essentially like when the lights went off, she could kill you because like it was like some curse with how she got murdered because everyone thought she killed the kid, but she hadn't. But she would take the kid's teeth and give them money. But just that idea of like the lights, like it set me off into such a fear of the darkness that it like I couldn't handle it. Like even this.
It's crazy.
It's way too much. It's way too much. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so sick.
But that's how that got made into a movie. Because somebody saw that and they were like, we gotta make that into a movie.
That was scary. Yeah. I'm like on edge.
Go to his YouTube channel. He has like a bunch of like
I'm
shorts
definitely
like that.
going to.
And they're all weird.
Oh man.
He has a bunch of really weird ones.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I'm gonna check them out for sure. Holy shit.
David F. Sandberg. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, yes.
Really cool. I remember because I wanted to start making short films. Yes. And that's actually what inspired it. Like I started watching a lot of short films on YouTube because there's so many. And yeah, I stumbled across him and I was like, yo, I gotta make like a horror.
Sick. Yes. Oh my gosh.
So now that I actually have access to this whole place, I think I'm actually gonna make a couple.
Yeah.
That are like,
yo, that's so sick. If you ever need someone in them, I'm down to test those waters.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yes.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So what else?
Yeah.
I don't know. How long has it been? Yeah, we're at the 2-hour mark. We just hit it.
Lovely. All right. I'm still feeling good. Oh, that's so sick.
But what else? So you said you want to make short films eventually. So you want to touch on that. So I basically it's going to be photography. It's going to be the collage making, short films, probably some writing.
I've always
what else?
I really wanted to get into short stories also, like, because a lot of the stuff I write are like just blurbs end up being, or prose. Like I get into pretty long poems and stuff, but just the stuff I find myself wanting to express, but there's only so much you can express in that format, you know what I mean? Like I feel like short stories could be a really cool way for me to express certain themes in really, really descriptive little fucking things, you know? So I definitely want to get into that more. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, but some like think pieces, just like a topic and just like writing on them, because like a lot of my journals actually, like from when I was like a teenager and stuff, I like stumbled over them a few weekends ago, and it was like really funny because I'd put like on life, and then I just read everything I felt about life, but like not like my life, but life in general, like what is life, and then I'd be like on death, and it would just kind of go again. So like, yeah, just that idea of like generating, because I think a lot. You know what I mean? I have a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts and opinions on things, so somehow trying to formulate that into like coherent like written pieces and figuring out how I would want to like share that. What else is there that I can do? Yeah, that I could just try. I have an affinity for making skincare items out of just like natural resources and natural like ingredients and stuff. Really? Yeah, that's not really an art, but you can say it's an art. Yeah, mixing potions and stuff. Yeah,
it's alchemy.
Yeah, alchemy. Oh my gosh. I think most of where I want to be right now is in photography, dabbling in film, and writing. Like those are just like the most expressive for me and just really the loveliest. I think I could get into like I don't know how I would either do this, but maybe even like performance art, like having the idea of the pictures I'm taking actually being alive and posing them as that. But all of this stuff's just like, in the future and projects, whatever I kind of have a whim for, whatever ideas I get, I kind of put them on a little list to like try for a while. So yeah, definitely that. Zine making is definitely going to be one of the biggest things, I think. I just really love the format, and like it's accessible, you know what I mean? You can put it up for download, you could put it in print, anyone can get to it, everyone can understand it and read it and like take it in. So I definitely love that idea of just like making things that everyone can get to, you know what I mean? Sure. That everyone, it's not like elitist or like it's not like stuck somewhere. It doesn't have to be taken in a certain form for it to make sense. Like you could just be like chilling and reading it or looking at it and being like, I really mess with this. So no, there's a lot that I want to dabble in, and specifically a lot of projects I want to get into. I have a lot of ideas of like shoots and like stories and different kind of like themes I want to start creating stuff out of. I definitely want to start working with more male counterparts and more like male bodies or masculine bodies, and more like kind of storylines along those sides too, because like actually I didn't even take it in, but I think most of everyone I take pictures of are my friends, and all of them are like femmes. So I'm like, yo, that's sick. Yes, but like like I think I want to include a lot of different bodies, a lot of different themes. I want some of them to be more deeper and some of them to be more playful and like fun. I definitely want to get more into like nude work and body work, and just that like kind of normalization of the self and of people, and of like very like into your, like, you're bearing yourself when you don't have clothes on in a photograph, and there's a lot of different ways you can make that come across, and like I think it'll be fun to play with that, considering I haven't really before, and but that's a lot of the stuff that's always on my mind, you know what I mean? Like sensuality and sexuality and bodies and people, and just how we even interact with each other and ourselves, like within ourselves when we don't have clothes on. And that definitely is something that I find I'm going to start working more towards in the summer, specifically now that just like photography and making and stuff has been, it's like a solid part of my life now, you know what I mean? Like there's no getting out of it. Like at first it was just like dibble dabbling, so I was like, I'll just shoot around my like apartment, but now it's like, no, I can like make things. So I definitely want to do that too. More masculine bodies, more interactions, more storylines, more themes. There's like so much stuff in my head all the time, so that's definitely going to be really, really fun to get them into the physical nature. The zine, I'm thinking of a couple of names for it right now. Like I'm starting to contact people about it. They're all friends, so I just text them like, yo dude, I'm gonna take pictures of your tattoos. So but no, like I'm really excited for that, because that's probably gonna be my first real structured project. Like a lot of the stuff I do right now is on the fly. Like I'll just like hit someone up and be like, hey, let's make something, or let's do something. But like to have something from the beginning be thought out, be planned, be made, be put out into the world, I haven't ever done that before. So that's really excited, because that's really gonna have to be on top of my shit, and like really kind of be in a space to really like get it. And I think because of what it is, like I'm taking pictures of tattoos. Like I'm so excited, I'm so ready, I'm so like, I really am looking forward to how it's going to end up when I them just touch on super big important things that like kind of take up my headspace. So it's like I'm excited. I really am excited.
That'll be a cool thing. like taking pictures of all the tattoos and everything.
Yeah.
When you do it with Alex, you got to make sure he takes off his shirt. He doesn't like to take off his shirt because it's not completely done.
Oh,
so you gotta get him to like at least pull it down.
Yeah, for sure.
He has a 666 going on and shit.
It's shit. Okay, yeah, I'm into that.
It's so
my jam.
He's so good on camera.
So wow, yeah, and that's what I'm excited for too. I think it's I don't know, like I've never met everyone's tattoo style. They appreciate the things people want to tattoo on them, where they choose to tattoo it on themselves. Yeah. It's all a part of it, you know what I mean? So I think it's gonna be sick to like really go into every person's personal tattoos, into their bodies, into how they look. And like honestly, like I feel like it's so like sick. Like it's just sick to see tattoos in such a format and like have everyone's personal expression, have everyone's just like bodies on paper, on page, and just being like, yep, this is who they are.
Yeah. That would be really cool. Cause every place is there. Like for me, I have this on my hands, so like, I can't go back to regular society because I know like it won't be accepted. It's a mushroom.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Hand, so it's like
I like that. Yeah.
So I have to like be myself. I'm like forced into it. That's why I'm getting the whole sleeve.
That's sick. Yeah, I rate that for sure. That's even with mine, a lot of them end up being, it's like the art of it is the same as the meaning. So even where I get them done and how I get them done, I love hand poke tattoos. Like that's just, I think most of the ones I have are stick and poke. Like they're not.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one.
Yeah, all of these. The ones on my hands. This one was stick and poke.
Really?
I have. Yeah. I have a couple on my legs too that end up being stick and poke too. My little avocado. These.
Avocado.
Yeah, a lotus flower. The one on the back of my leg actually is like really recent. It's a little tombstone that says that was weird. That's my humor. That's my humor right there. So like.
That's crazy.
I definitely love the art of like collection of tattoos, of body, of looking the way you want to look. Again, that idea of you can't go back to normal society, you know what I mean? Tattoos are in your face. Like this is one of the most recent ones I got.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, man, they come out like little peekaboos. Like whenever I move, you'll see a new one. I love it. It's so funny meeting new people because of that reason.
Because I know you have one on the back of your arm here.
Yes.
Like writing I saw.
Yeah, so I have this one on the back of my arm here.
Wow.
It says Rare Hearts.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool. My favorite band in the world is called The Growlers.
Okay.
And that's one of their songs, and
Rare
it just
Hearts.
like it's so sweet and lovely, and just like The Growlers are sick. I'm gonna get so many more tattoos of their theme.
Really?
Yeah, they're sick. You should check them out. I'm obsessed with them.
Nice.
Yeah. I like. Even like I have friends that only do words and they don't have pictures on them. Most of mine are pictures. Like I have so many images, but the words I'm so like picky about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I actually just took in that most of the words I have are songs. So the one underneath my chin is my favorite Amy Winehouse song. It's
Which one?
Some Unholy War.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have that one. This one, The Growlers, is Rare Hearts. That's it. This one's funny, but it has no song, but it's just sick.
Yeah.
And then I have a quote actually, and it's kind of funny. Like a couple of years back, so like I'll show you pictures after, just because like I have to take everything off. But
that's the best thing to do. Just keep pictures.
Like, I was like, this is what's going on. I'm literally stripped down right now.
Yeah, I have a back one. People are all, I'm like,
you'll see it eventually. You'll see it eventually.
See the life is? I'm like, see the life. 2 serpents. Don't worry.
That's so funny. Yeah, like I am the wolf barely contained tattooed on my thigh. Like on the side over here. But then I ended up in Las Lobas, which is literally like the wolf woman. I'm like, yo, like I've been prepping myself for all of this from the beginning. Yeah. That's but amazing. Seriously, the symbology of the wolf is like one of my favorite ever. I think they're beautiful animals, and I think they're just like heavy in spirit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So definitely my tattoos are a lot of fun for me. And it's like even when I was a kid, like my mom, she gets so annoyed because she's like, I knew you were gonna end up like this. Like from when I was young, you know.
I knew you were gonna end up like this.
You know, on like Maury and stuff, when they have those people who are like extremely tattooed and you're supposed to be like terrified of them, I was always like, wow, like oh my god, you know what I mean? My mom was just like, chill, like absolutely not. But like, you know, no, definitely, like I've always seen it as such a beautiful art and such a like amazing thing to have on yourself. Like there's nothing else. Like when you're just in your skin and you have artwork all over you, like you have to enjoy it, you know what I mean? Like it's beautiful. It's sick. Yeah. So no, yeah, I'm definitely excited to share that love of mine through something that I'm doing myself. Like that's really what I'm excited about, that like just this thing that I appreciate so much and admire so much just so happened all my friends have tattoos, and like there's so many people I can reach out to, and I'm excited to show people off. Yeah,
definitely. That'll be really cool. What does stick and poke feel like?
Stick and poke feels like not as bad as everyone thinks. Okay. I find the biggest difference between stick and poke and the machine is where the machine's pain is static and you feel it just when it lifts, the pain's gone, but when it's down, you feel it all. Stick and poke is a nagging pain because you feel every poke because it's just one needle going in and out. So like you just sit there and you're like, this is annoying me now. Like I'm getting poked like a lot, but like it doesn't hurt as badly as you would think it would. My ribs were the worst, definitely.
Oh, you got something on your ribs? Stick and poke on your ribs, eh?
Yeah, and pretty intense pieces too.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. This whole side stick and poke. So yeah, Jesus. Like those took a couple of sittings and I bruised and I was holding back tears, but that was the worst. Like every single one that I thought was going to be gnarly didn't end up that way at all. Yeah. I have like a sternum piece that's stick and poke. It's like just like a cute little thing. Yeah. And I was chilling. We were watching movies in my living room and I was just laying upside down while like the one that was doing it with my ex-partner, he was like kind of tattooing me. It was like such a chilling environment. And so like, yeah, like that tattoo like means so much to me too. Like stick and poke is it really is. It's in your face. Like you're not just getting like tattooed to get tattooed. You know what I mean? Like you have to sit with the pain. You have to sit with it all. You feel everything. But yeah, the look of them, you know, like I love the look of them. So I got them.
I wanted to, when I was in Hawaii, that's what I wanted to get. I wanted to get like a traditional, like the way they do it. But we went into the studio and I was like, where's the guy who does it? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, he'll be in here, blah, blah, blah. We started talking to the guy and like we just connected. Yeah. Like, mushrooms. We started talking about Terrence McKenna and spirituality. Sick. And I was like, my buddy's like, I'm getting it done by this guy. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so exactly. And that's the thing too. Even those like relationships with certain artists, like you can't get away from that.
It's just, I had to. Mm-hmm. He actually did my buddy's tattoo all freehand. Ooh. And it was my buddy's first tattoo. And he I kind of want to hide it. So I think I'm going to get it on my ankle. I'm like, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
That'll be fun. And he was doing exactly what you're talking about, holding back. He was like, he's shaking.
Yeah.
He's sweating.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got one. The one on my back is the most detailed. It's the one with the heaviest shading for stick and poke. It was gnarly. Like
stick and poke, they can do
shading. But the one on my
with like a blade like poke.
No, it's a tattoo needle. Yeah, it's just the tattoo needle outside of the machine, so it's being held by itself. So it's just like boop 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 boop.
Even when the shading, it's
even thing? With the shading, it's the same thing. You can't get away from it, man. Yeah. Like whatever it is, it is. So like. The one on my back is Ouroboros. It's the snake eating itself or eating its own tail. And it says nature knows no kings on the inside. Okay. But the snake itself is just black work. Like it's just a black like snake in a circle. And it's like, it's about the size of my palm. Okay. So sitting there for all of that like absolute blackness of the tattoo and just feeling it everywhere was like, yeah, I had to get into a zone for that one for sure. You know, I had to sit down, breathe, fucking, chill out, focus myself, mindfulness. No, definitely. But that was the one thing I appreciated about a lot of the tattoos was there was this almost aspect of meditation on the side because of the fact of how much it hurts. If I let myself go into that, I wouldn't be able to get it. I wouldn't be able to finish it. And that's just like not what I do. Definitely. I can't not get that tattoo because it hurts too much. So it definitely did give a certain connection. Like I remember each one when I got it. I know how it felt. There's a connection to that moment, to the piece, and like, yeah, I'm here for it, So I'll sit through that pain.
Wow, that's great. How long does it take? Like, how long are you sitting like that for? Like doing like 4-hour sessions?
No. A lot of them are actually pretty quick. Just because specifically the ones I get, like this one, I want to say it was maybe over an hour, but
just an hour of somebody just
going. And like I'm I don't like do breaks either, you know, like I get so excited. I get so excited when I'm getting them that I'm just like, I want to see it done, like finish this. So yeah, I sit there for a minute and get it through, but then also because of that, it doesn't take so long because it's just like one shot in and out. And no, what's it called? I think my back was the longest. Yeah. I think that maybe took over 2 hours. Over 2 hours.
2 hours just getting poked like that.
Yeah.
Like I've gone 8 hours with the machine, but it's like it's the machine, so I feel like it's different.
Even that, I'd probably get dizzy.
It was like because I was covering up my ribs. With the seed of life. Like
wow.
I had, on both sides because I had like no fear and no doubt on my ribs.
Okay. Yeah.
And I didn't really have a reason for it. I was drunk when I got the tattoo. Like, it didn't serve anything. So I love it. I was like, nah. I have the memory still, but like I was like, I'd rather have something a little deeper on there.
For sure.
So I got that done. So the first time I got the ribs done, like I was squeezing a bottle, I was sweating. I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
And I was drunk, so I was
jaunting.
Bleeding.
Oh fudge.
A lot of blood. Yeah. A lot of blood. Fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was really bad. But then when I got it covered up and I was getting it done by like a proper guy, like, I wasn't drunk, just a little high on weed.
Yeah, exactly. Always.
And then I fell asleep.
Sick.
Like, and the only reason, because you mentioned meditation, I was listening to this Taoist meditation, like these,
oh my God, yes,
and I just like got into a zone. I just like fell asleep.
Like how beautiful is that? Like you know what I mean? This intense ass pain, and you're just like, I'm not even affected. I love that. Yeah,
they were like baffled. They're like, are you gonna keep going? I'm like, yeah, 8 hours, right? Let's go.
Let's do that.
Like, the only breaks we took is so he could like go smoke.
Yeah,
like, I gotta get a cigarette, man.
I'm not doing this for 8 hours. You can lay here.
And I'm just like, yeah, do your thing, man.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Or I think I took like one break to like go get a burrito at like Kensington Market because it was like just down the street.
Yeah, you're like, I'm starving.
That was about it though.
That's sick.
That was really cool.
Yeah. I definitely am excited to get more. I'm definitely excited to do more.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a bunch. This is gonna be all mushrooms.
Sick. And I love how they're all different styles. That's what's gonna make it nice. Yeah,
that's the big thing, right? Like I just let everybody do what they feel.
That's amazing.
Like the girl who did this, she just like showed me a design.
Oh yeah, and I like that one too.
Yeah, it says the name of the show on it. I'm like, sick.
Oh nice. Yeah.
That's why I got it. This was episode 1. I got the.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's your little love child then.
Yeah, that's forever.
Shit, yeah, that tiny one's so cute too.
Yeah, that was episode 2.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And the girl who did it, this Jacqueline Schiller.
Ooh,
she was so good, like such a good artist. Like,
nice.
Almost like reminds me of you, how much of a background she had, like towards like painting and stuff like that is crazy.
That's sick.
And same thing, had a very nurturing family towards
it. Yeah. That's definitely, I don't know, man. Like I really did luck out with that, just for the idea of like it being so unintentional, but being so open still. Like again, like there was no way I was gonna see myself like taking pictures and doing stuff, but just being in that environment where it's like everything you did was kind of normal. Yeah. I went to my mom and like even this, like I told her about today and she was so hyped for me. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, I'm getting interviewed. She's like, wow, like look at you. I hope you're happy. Like, you know, like even when I told my mom about the art shows and stuff, like she looked at me and she was like, honestly, like if I were to see where you would have ended up as a kid, it would have been right here. Like, yeah. She's like, because there was a time when I wasn't doing anything, you know, high school, growing up, puberty, you're just like lost in the world. Like, you know, who wouldn't be? So she was just like, I'm glad you're like coming back to this. Like, I'm glad you're like finding your way to this again, you know, like it's true. I really am lucky with the support I get from my family and from like my friends and everyone around me. And I just feel like the environment I grew up in kind of nurtured me to be this expressive through these ways without it being forced upon me, essentially, you know, like since my mom was a dancer, she tried getting me into dance when I was a kid, and I just like, it wasn't my thing, you know. And I think it's that thing. I think it's that idea of just like me showing myself to like openly. I don't like vibe with it. Like I'm much more like showing things I do or make. Yeah. But if I am the
focal point,
it's too much. It's way too much for me. So no, I got into dance and didn't get into that. I played the piano when I was a kid. I wasn't into that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like there's been a lot that I've dabbled in just to see. And plus, like when I was a kid, like it was was my dad that got me into piano, and I was just like, man, this isn't really cool. It was too calm. It was too proper. That was the thing. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to play the drums. When we went into the music school, I was like, I'm going to do percussion. Like that's what I'm doing. He's like, no, like you're playing the piano. So like just from the beginning, there was already that conflict of interest. Definitely. I like things, I think, that are messier and less structured and more expressive and wild. So
the drums is so much better. I studied classical piano for like 4 years.
Wow. So, it's intense.
I used to go into the lessons high as fuck because I started when I was like 20.
Sick. Yeah. You knew yourself.
And there'd be all these kids and shit. I'd be like, where's the teacher? Where's the teacher? We'd sit down together. He'd be like, you can't come in like this. We were like the same age. And he'd been doing it since he was like 4 years old. And he's like, you can't come in like this. I'm like, what?
What have I done?
I'm like, I'm good. He's like, did you study? I'm like, nah.
I'm like, feeling this. I'm feeling this.
I'm like, what's this? I'm like, is this a thing? Is this a thing?
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. But it's true though. There is. I feel the same way about like all that stuff. Yeah, like I'm just here to have fun, do my thing, and you know, get the best out of it.
Yeah, looking back, I should have done something that was like messier because like it was way too proper. But I just wanted to like see what that was like. Of
course, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually sick. Even just trying to put yourself in those situations.
Yeah, I wasn't cut out for it. I smelled way too much like weed.
They knew. Everyone knew. Everyone knew what was going down.
Except for the kids. The kids just thought I smelled weird.
The kids just, they're unassuming. Yeah. There's the one kid who does know, and he's like, shouldn't be here right now. Yeah. Hilarious. So my gosh.
Yeah, those are good times though.
Yeah, of course.
When you're just doing creative things just for the sake of doing it, it's like the funnest time.
It is. It's enriching, and it really does teach you a lot. It teaches you so much. You're just like, I never had this skill before. I'm gonna try it though. And I'm already who I am, so let's just see how it becomes now. Like, you know, it's sick. I love it. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened with video too. I didn't find this until I was like 30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's sick though. No, that's cool.
Or maybe like 28 or something like that. And I finally figured it out and then started trying to do things.
That's good. Slowly. I like that. No, definitely videography and anything under that realm is definitely something I appreciate and admire a lot.
It's it's hard. It's very hard.
It's hard. It's hard. I don't have the patience for it. That's honestly why I think it's taken so long for me to get in. Like, I think that's why I chose photography over film. For like, you have to have the know-how, you know what I mean? For like, to a certain level, for videography and like editing, I'm clueless. Like any kind of like I'm clueless. So once I start getting into all of that, I'll definitely figure out making short films.
I think you're gonna love editing.
I think so too.
Because editing is like a collage. It's like a linear collage. And you get all your little pieces, and they can even be pictures. It can be whatever.
Exactly.
And then, like, you slowly start to tell a story just by moving things around.
Yeah, there's Moonlight and American Honey.
Okay.
From last year. American Honey was done beautifully.
Really?
Those two, like, that's what I get out of film. Like when I watch something and the way that even Moonlight was made and the colors and the shit, like I would love to be a part of that. Like I would love to have a hand in that kind of part of a movie. It'd be amazing. Yeah. So definitely I'm going to start learning. I'm going to start getting into it.
You should. Especially you bring up Moonlight. Yeah. There's a really well done film.
Moonlight is magic. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't my kind of film. I remember my buddies describing it to me. I'm like, I don't want to watch that shit. And he's like, it's amazing. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like this real film buff guy. And and like I watched it and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, Moonlight.
It's amazing.
Oh my God. I cried so much.
Man.
Moonlight was beautiful. It was like, that is the definition of tender to me. Like when I think of the word tender, I think of Moonlight. Like everything about it was so intimate and soft and like, just like, it felt like you were watching something you shouldn't be watching. You know what I mean? Like you're watching it on someone's literal personal life and you're like, wow.
Yeah, and that's how he felt a lot of it while he was making it. He was saying there were times when the woman who was playing his mom, she was doing so well that he like didn't want to speak to her.
Wow.
That he'd be like, I don't like, because he just went back to that and he's like, I don't want to like be around you.
It's true.
He's like, you're doing a good job. He's like, but like,
yeah, I gotta be there. You know what I mean? That movie was, I definitely appreciate getting the chance to watch that, you know? I appreciate that it was made for us to watch it. Yeah, like everyone needed to see that.
Because he didn't have to like make that.
No,
you know
no,
like,
definitely not.
Made something else.
Yeah, he could have made anything else, but just you could tell everybody, and it gave it its deserved effort. You know, nothing lacked. Yeah, nothing lacked.
Yeah, when you hear him talk about like making it, it's really it's unavoidably intimate.
Yeah,
it's just his life, right?
And I like that. You know, like it really is a certain kind of art that's like incredibly moving just through intimacy of different types. You know what I mean? Like I find the stuff that really like touches me and really gets me like into something is like very unassuming types of intimacy that's shown between either like a person in their environment or a person and another person or a person in a situation. Like just the inner workings of someone's mind in connection to something else can like you can do so much with that.
Definitely. Yeah, Moonlight was a big film.
Yeah.
But you want to do stuff like that? Like what you were just talking about? Would you do stuff like that in film?
Yeah, like if I could work in cinematography, if there was somehow like I could like lead artistic direction or like a cinematic editing, it's the vision of it all. I love the vision. Like if I could somehow be a part of the vision work of a project, I'm down. Like, you know, like I would definitely get into that because just, I don't know, I like making things look good, you know, to me at least. I don't know if they necessarily look good to the world. I don't know everyone's opinion on everything, but just how you can put things together to make it seem like just more visually appealing, more into align with the environment, with what's going on in the scene, with everything. Like that's like an art. Like it's really just like an art on its own, and I would love to be a part of it because like I have an interest in that. Yeah.
That's really cool. Maybe you can do stuff for me.
Yo, I would, man. Let me do it. I'm
because
down.
This is like the most like when I was reading your website and I read like the last part, I was like, oh shit, because you were like the actual process is just as important as the end product. And that's like what this whole thing is. Because like the 1,000 interviews will be turned into something after it's all done, a documentary or a film or whatever it might be. Yeah. But like this is the important part. Like while it's all going on, learning and stuff. So it's
all like the ritual of it all. You know what I mean? To get into it, to physically be here, to set it up, to get the people to do it, to even get into the conversations. And I bet none of the conversations you've had been the same. I can believe that the ones you're going to have are going to take you to different places, and all of that's so sick. But like, if you were just focused on like pumping out all these interviews on like some kind of like crazy schedule or on some rigid like, you know what I mean, it would take away from the things that you can kind of get in between as you go along with it. So I'm excited for you. Because
I've been talking to people and like a lot of people want to like structure it and stuff, and like they go, oh, you should make your, I remember I was talking to one person, they're like, you should make the interviews like 10 minutes, and I'm like, no.
How would this have worked in 10 minutes? How?
I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I'm like, I don't want it to be like that. And somebody was like maybe like 30, and like I get what they're saying because like I could package it into something, but I like the whole raw conversation. I think the only thing is I just have to make it look better because I don't know. That's why I always talk about photography, because I don't know anything about shots and this and that. Totally. So I have to learn how to make the shots better. So once I start learning that, and then I can get into, I want to just get a good interview going, get the shots looking good, and then I can like get into the David Lynch shit. Yes. No, definitely. I'm excited to see how that pans out for you, because that's gonna be unreal. I want it to be very weird. Like I had a set way I wanted it to be the first like 10 episodes, but it just fell apart. Like, people were just dropping out left and right. And fell apart. Yeah, like I really like. Here is like an idea. I might even still do it. I don't give a shit. But I was gonna have somebody who's like a director just come and like have a conversation like this, and we were gonna talk and everything like that. And then the next episode, or actually I should start from the first one, somebody was supposed to paint a picture. The second one, a visual artist was supposed to come in, talk about the picture, edit it, make their own picture of the same picture. Now that picture is behind the next person, like those two pictures are behind the person, and now it's a director and he's talking about stuff, and he's talking about how to like set like shots and stuff like that. But whatever we talk about, after we're finished, the next day would be an actor, and that actor would just impersonate the director exactly. So it seemed like the exact same conversation. So anybody that's watching, they would be like, "What the fuck fuck is this? Then they go back, they be like, what the wait, hold on a second.
I love that. I actually love that.
It's so fucking weird. And then the next day it's like the same actor, but then he talks about how he did that.
Yeah. Oh, that's sick. Yo, you definitely should figure. Yeah. I feel like I love that idea of like the same but different. You know what I mean? Yeah, like it's weird. All the same stuff and it's adding on together, but it's everyone's specified like craft doing their weirdness. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool for sure.
That's what. Yeah, I think it's gonna like form into that. And like, because I would love to see. I feel like no matter what, it would seem like a David Lynch film if I had 200 different things going on of like 200 episodes, like drawing back from all that, like the picture, this, that. People be like, what the fuck am I watching right now? seriously, which is always the best reaction. When they're like, what the fuck, I have to go back and watch that again. Like, only the person who watches from like the first episode to the last would like understand it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just like if you watch Eraserhead, you're like, that was bullshit. But if you like listen to David Lynch and you watch more of his movies, you're like, that's amazing.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. And I think that's why I was happy that I watched Eraserhead after I had already solidified that I love David Lynch. Oh, yeah. Because that's why I went into it so free. Because had I not known about him and just watched it, I would have been like, I guess I like it, but I'm mad confused. But I was like, this is David Lynch. We're not here to understand. Just appreciate, take what you will. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'm here for it.
Yeah, my friend pretty much said the same thing. He's like, you won't get it. He's like, but because I kept telling him, I'm like, I like weird stuff. I'm like, I like weird shots. And like, I was trying to explain this whole concept to him before I even knew what it was.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you like weird shit, he's like, just watch Eraserhead.
Just watch it. Yeah,
and
it'll work.
From there, it just snowballed. I was like,
oh
David
man,
Lynch is the best.
Yeah, he's unreal. Actually, unreal. So genuine, so sick. That's actually what I appreciate about him so much is how obscure his stuff is. He could be like super like dramatic and typecast and everything, but when you listen to him talk, this is just his mind. Like this is, it's literally just his mind, and he's just throwing stuff out there, and you have to take it in. And I love it. Yeah. It's sick.
It's nuts. I'd love to interview him one day.
Oh my gosh, a dream. A dream.
I have to ask him one day.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll be like, is it crucial to the artist to sit down with the master, or should the artist just become the master himself?
You did that so well. That's literally The Art Life, like the documentary. That's how he talks the whole time. Yeah, he's sitting there because it's just him. They don't even go into anything else. Like, it's just him sitting there, and he's explaining his life and explaining his art. And it's like his art devoid of the feature films, like the big stuff he's done. So it's like his paintings, his sculptures, his short films, his beginnings. Like, amazing. Wow. Yeah, you should definitely check that out.
That's so cool. That's what he's talking about, like that.
Yeah. David
I just
Lynch
imagine
is the one.
That's how he would talk if like asked him something.
Amazing.
He'd make it into
so
a riddle.
Funny. Yeah. Everything's a riddle. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe his films.
A riddle. Yeah, a visual riddle.
Yeah, big riddle.
For sure.
Now I have to watch Eraserhead again.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to be the first person to figure it
out. I will get this down. Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch it again too. See how I feel about it today.
Do you know how he made that? He was making that like just like as like I think he was just like an art student, like a film student. Yeah. Like, he was like living in some big mansion. Like he was just kind of commissioned to be there, and like, he just kind of had the money, and he was just doing it. And like he ran out of money and like didn't pick it up again for 3 years or something.
Well, that's the truth. If you have no money for it, what can you do?
Just had to stop. And
I love it. I love that style. Like so unattached from it all. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, I'm making this. I can't afford it. I'll do it again later. Sick. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta watch some of his stuff now. Yeah, I gotta watch a talk with him.
Yes. The Art Life. You gotta watch that.
Creatively grounded again.
Yes, exactly. So sick.
So I forget what her name is. Is it Maria Coppola?
Sophia
Coppola.
Yes.
Did you ever see her in The Godfather?
The little girl, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like. I think there was a time where she was older in it too.
Yes. I think so too. The Godfather, honestly, there's so many of them. Yeah. Also wild.
But they talk about that part being like the worst, like how that was horrible. But but like as you see like her films, it's like almost like she was like trying a thing.
No, like, seriously. Yeah. Like I appreciate her. She kind of has that Dreamwave effect too. You know what I mean? Of just like that softness, that haziness, that cloudiness, that kind of like inner lookings of a little life, like something very unassuming and almost calm, but she makes it seem magical just by what it is. Like, that's why I love the Virgin Suicides. Like, it was a group of sisters, essentially. It's actually based on a book. So it's based on a book that was already written, and she kind of did the video remake for it. It has like being put on them, but like when they actually expressed themselves and when they actually did what they wanted, the consequences were like so dire. You know what I mean? They were so rough. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite films, period. And like specifically now, just in terms of like image and topic and like even where my mind goes, like I could totally see like how Virgin Suicides like influenced just how I see the world and how I want to create and stuff too now.
Virgin Suicides. I have to watch that.
Yes, you do.
So it's narrated by boys across the street?
Yes.
Like these girls a lot.
Essentially. And it's like, it was like they had met up. Like there's a part of the film where they're like, you know, we meet up now. They're all grown up. They're fucking lawyers, whatever they're at. And they still have this like, yo, like, do you remember that summer? Like, do you remember those girls? What happened? Like, how did that happen? Like, you know what I mean? And they were all teenagers. It was like teenagers. It's like a teen dream movie, just like the dark side of it all. Yeah.
That's really cool. Those girls.
Yeah, those girls.
Virgin Suicide. I'm going to see that. It sounds very weird.
It is.
Like, as you're explaining it, I'm like...
Okay. It is. It's weird. It's so well written. It's so well done. Like... I super appreciate it. Like, if you watched American Beauty, you'll definitely feel Virgin Suicides. Okay. Yeah.
I love American Beauty.
I love American Beauty.
I saw it when I was really young, and even then I knew it was like art.
I actually saw it. When I was young, but not so young. I don't know, because, like, again, the film stuff. So, like, when I was in high school, I would make myself lists of films I needed to watch. Like, that I was just like, hey, this is, like, stuff I need to do. And, like, summers, I would just go crazy and watch everything. Like, I watched The Virgin Suicides and American Beauty and, like, The Heathers and just, like, really cult classic 80s, 90s movies just because I was like, I want to know what they're about. And I want to see if I actually like them or not. Yeah. And, like, there were some, like... I don't know. I appreciate all forms of film. So there wasn't actually a film I watched that I wasn't into, you know? Like, I was just like, man, this isn't as good. Like, I see why they're cult classics. Like, they're sick. They're just weird and kind of, like, deal with, like, sketchy subject matter. But no, yeah, that was a big time for me in terms of just, like, opening my eyes creatively and stuff, was just, like, reading, like, there was a lot of books I read that summer, too, and a lot of films that I was like, I have to watch. So with all of that, like, it definitely set the imprints of where I wanted to go creatively and the type of stuff that appealed to me. Yeah. So yeah, no, I love all that stuff.
That's really cool. Virgin Suicides, eh?
Yeah.
I want to see it now.
I'm so excited.
Anytime I have a movie that I'm like, oh, I have to see this now, I'm like, all right, let's do it. Like, I'm like thinking of where I'm gonna get it from.
Oh man, yeah. Definitely.
I had a list of movies like that when I was like 16, 15, because I hung around like older guys. And they'd be like, you know, it's just like Scarface. Yeah. And I'd be like, I was like, what's Scarface? And they're like, what? Yeah. And then they realize what age I am. They're like, hold on, have you seen Blood In, Blood Out? I'm like, no. You haven't seen American Me? No. You haven't seen American History X? No. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah, those are all a part of American History X. Holy shit. I actually watched that in school. Really? Yeah, high school. What? Yeah, they literally gave us one and we're like, honestly, we shouldn't be showing this, but we have to show you what's real. Like, yeah, I had like some really cool high school teachers who were like, fuck the system, like, you guys need to learn. So like, there was definitely like what class was this for? It was like English or something. We were talking about like injustices, and this teacher was just like, she was wild, you know what I mean? She was one of the first people I met. She was like, I don't buy anything from malls. I thrift everything. Like, fuck capitalism, fuck the world. And I was just like, yo, who is this woman? Yeah, like, yeah, crazy. I really looked out. Like, I remember I watched Kids Extreme. Holy shit. Like, I appreciate Kids so much for what it is, but the actual subject matter of the movie is like, fucked. You know what I mean? Like, it's like shocking. So like, I watched that when I was like in high school, and like, there were so many kids who were like, I'm so angry at this. Like, what is this? And I was like, wow, like, this is sick. Like, you know what I mean? I'm so angry at this. Literally, they're like, it terrified me. Like, I was too young, and I'm like, whoa, like, this is amazing. But like, again, the culture of it all, the scene of it all, what they were talking about, what they were doing, like, especially when I started learning the background information of the whole movie, I was just like, okay, this is probably my favorite movie in the fucking world. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, because, like, all those actors, they, like, Chloe Sevigny wasn't an actor, Rosario Dawson wasn't an actor. Like, that was their friends. The only one that wasn't actually, like, hadn't grown up with them and wasn't a part of it was, what's the lead kid's name? Not Casper's best friend, like the one who was doing the dumb stuff.
I don't know. I was going to say Casper.
No, not Casper. Like, all those kids grew up together in New York and were friends. And, like, that was their lives. Like, the only parts of the story that were made up was obviously, like, the HIV spreading all over their fucking group. And the main character who was a part of it, he was the only actor. Like, he was the only one that was like, I am brought here to be a part of this. And even him, he became homies with them after. Like, that was a life-made movie. Yeah. It's amazing. You know what I mean?
I have to watch it again now.
Yes, definitely. And to think of all those actors that are now, like, A-list names, like Rosario Dawson, like, she was like 14 in that, man. It was just talking shit. Like, it's so sick. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I love that. Like, I feel like that's a lot of what I'm drawn to when I'm making stuff. Just, like, actual normal stuff of, like, the homies and of community and of, like, your life, but just, like, put together artistically. And really just shown as it is, but, like, with a truth to it. So it's not, like, fluffy or, like, it's not, like, you know, cookie cutter. It's like, it makes you uncomfortable, but it's, like, real. It's natural, you know? Which is sick.
Yeah, definitely. That's nuts. With kids, I gotta see that again. I only watched it once. I haven't seen it since. It was like one of those movies I just watched it one time.
I went through a phase where I was watching it, like, at least once a week, you know? I was chilling. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put some kids on. I don't know. It was the words, the way they spoke to each other, like the actual dialogue and stuff, really appealed to me.
Really?
It was there was just something so, like, I don't want to say poetic, but it was a very, like, tender kind of conversation they were having, like, for the subject matter going on and for everything going on, just, like, their intimate, like, that first opening scene when it's all the girls in the room and they're talking about the different types of ways to, like, make love and do this and do that, and it's just, like, that's so, like, real, you know what I mean? Like, that's like a coming of age scene. And, like, even how rowdy the guys were and how, like, just their whole community was mixed in with each other, like, on that level, it was sick. But just, like, it wasn't until actually I got older that I realized how messed up it was, because I was just like, yo, 13 did I hear? All right, stop. You know what I mean? Stop what you're doing.
That's so funny.
My gosh, no, there's, like, Romeo plus Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann one.
Oh,
the one that, like, people can't stand. People do not like that one. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I love that.
Probably my favorite movie in the world. Like, if I'm really talking about, like, top 5, like, things that have influenced and, like, make me see the world, that's honestly on the top of the list of it. How saturated the colors are and how, like, just, like, over the top but cool everything is.
Everything. I like, anytime someone mentions that movie, I always think of Leonardo DiCaprio. I think they're at a gas station and he's, like, in somebody's face and it's, like, a real close up.
Yep.
And I'm like, so weird.
Oh my gosh.
That was another one I watched really young and, like, I loved it. And I love that guy because I always liked Romeo and Juliet, like, growing up. But there was a guy, I forget what his name was, but he was like a poet. I forget what his name. I feel like it was
in Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
Mercutio.
Yeah. And in that film, he was like, it was like next level. I was like, holy fuck.
I was obsessed with his character.
I believe, who was his character? I think he was in Oz.
I know who
Matrix.
I know who it is, but I don't know his actual name.
Yeah,
he had, like, the dreads.
Right? Yeah, he was in the Matrix. He was in the show Oz. He was in the wheelchair.
Yes. Yeah, he killed Mercutio.
I can't do that.
You're like, I'm Googling it.
I gotta know his name. Because I've been watching that guy forever.
I know, he's in everything. He's actually in everything.
Look, black guy.
Romeo plus Juliet.
With dreads. I'm just gonna write with dreads. With dreads, Matrix. Be damned if his whole picture. What? The white people pop? That is just
dreads, Matrix.
I cannot believe it. How dare you guys?
There he is, the first one.
Yeah. Yo, what is this guy's name? He was on The Walking Dead too.
Wow.
Harold, say that name. Perrineau?
Perrineau. I didn't know that was his name. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never knew his name then. I never knew his name.
Yo, that guy's amazing.
Yeah, Mercutio's character was like that scene right before the party when he gets into that monologue and like starts tripping and gets like a little angry and we're like, are you okay? Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite scenes in that movie.
Cause and it's so funny because like in the actual Romeo and Juliet, like when you're learning in school, that was a part that stood out to me so much because I was like, holy fuck. I'm like, that was like 34 bars just now. And like I understood it because I'd listened to hip hop so much growing up, so I was able to decipher it where the other kids didn't know what the hell he was saying.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Romeo and Juliet was one of those things I had to like get into. I had to like it took me getting a little bit older because in high school I was like a little shithead, you know. I was like, I'm not reading Shakespeare. Like, what are we here for? And then I was like, nah, Shakespeare's sick. What am I talking about? Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, Romeo and Juliet was like amazing. And like, it never even connected. Like, I just loved the way it was made. Like, it was so good, so good. Baz Luhrmann, actually a director that really influences my stuff too. His set designs, his use of neon and candles and lights and like the kind of sketchy, like the almost sketchy, like glowy vibe to everything. He has like the funeral scene of Juliet when it's like the neon crosses with just flowers and candles covering her. Yeah, I was obsessed with that. And it's like really funny actually because he has a similar scene like that in The New Great Gatsby that also has Leonardo DiCaprio because it was Baz Luhrmann that directed that one too. Okay, so you could see in the like there was, I can't remember whose, I think it was Leonardo, like Gatsby's when he passes away. It has that same pan out into the funeral scene with the flowers and the candles everywhere. Okay. Like, yeah, that dude kills it with lighting. Really? Obsessed. Super obsessed.
See, I gotta start noticing stuff like that more. See, for me, anytime I watch a movie, I'm always into the story. Yeah. Because, like, that's, I guess, as you can see, like, I'm into, like, the conversation of things.
Yes, exactly.
Even down to my favorite movie, which is My Dinner with Andre.
Oh, what's like, that? I've never heard of that.
It's literally this it's a very weird movie because it's like this guy just meets up with a friend that he hasn't seen in like years, that he's heard has been doing some weird stuff. Like not too weird, but like he's growing and changing and evolving. Yes. And he sits down, he has dinner with him, and they just have like this really intimate conversation for like
wow. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that for sure.
Really interesting.
Yeah, that seems sick. I'm gonna watch that.
They're just in a restaurant and that's it.
Wow. Yeah. I love movies like that. It was just that stretch out like a moment into the movie. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's all it was. And they just sit there and they have dinner and it's like just this really, really, it was like the first podcast ever. This movie is like from like the, I think, late 80s.
The first podcast ever. That's amazing.
They just sit there and talk and like that's it.
That's sick. That's so sick. And oh my gosh.
Really good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So yeah, that's my favorite movie.
Nice.
And then 2001 Space Odyssey. And then Eyes Wide Shut. I love
Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah. What's that?
You've never seen Eyes Wide Shut?
I need you to explain it.
Oh my god.
It sounds scary.
Eyes Wide Shut. It's by Stanley Kubrick.
Eyes Wide Shut.
It was the last film he ever made. He literally died a week after filming.
Oh my gosh. Why have I never I'm going to watch that tonight. I'm literally not going to end up sleeping tonight.
Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
I know what movie it is. I watched it really young. I watched it really young. Like, so young, I actually don't remember it. That was why. Jesus. Right when you said those two, I was like... I'm
glad you don't remember that. There's too much sex in that for someone so there's a guy in some mask, and he's just pounding this chick, and it's just...
Yeah. Oh, my... I had to leave. That was the one thing my mom didn't play those games with, though, or my sister. Any, like, sex scene, I definitely had to disappear. Like, and I would always pretend. It was so funny, because I'd be like, oh, I'm so tired. What's going on? And I knew which parts I had to cover my eyes from. I was just like, intimacy. And I'm 9.
Wow, that's so funny. Jeez. Yeah, there's a lot of that in that movie.
Oh man.
But definitely, well, it's not that there's a lot of it, but like when there is, it's like...
It's graphic.
Yeah, and it's just basically... I won't even give any of it away. But basically, it's about a man who is a devout husband and father, and he starts getting confronted with the possibilities of going elsewhere. And it's like the tussle of that throughout the movie.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to bring up some weird stuff.
Yeah. And he just goes on this, anytime he's exploring those possibilities, he just gets on this very odd adventure.
Wow.
And it's just a struggle. It's you know what? You'd like it a lot, because all it is just a man and a wife who are married, and they're just like, they're dealing with shit.
Yeah, exactly. As you're explaining this, I'm like, yep, gotta watch.
And the stuff that they're dealing with is like, it's very regular, but then what happens to him and like the stuff
where
that
it goes,
it gets it's very normal, and then the underbelly of it is fucked.
Oh, my vibe. Yes.
And it's by Stanley Kubrick. So
so I'm already there for it.
It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, I love that.
And when he got those two because they were married at the time. Yeah. So he was like,
I really want this to look real. Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
And it's like, when you watch it, if you think about them being married, it's like, even past the movie, it's like, how do a husband and wife confront those things on camera?
Oh my God, I'm so glad to watch this. I can't wait.
Because like the characters have to confront these weird things,
but they're actually married.
Yeah, and like, how do you not think of that? You know,
exactly. How do you not associate with that with yourself when it's such a close role?
Yeah,
man. Like, oh man.
Yeah, and then he gets into some shit. That's the movie where everybody was like, Stanley Kubrick knew too much, and that's why he had to go.
Wow.
Because like, he touches on some like, basically touches on like the Illuminati, I guess you could say, in this film.
All right. Yeah, I'm down to see that then. All the sirens are going off. I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't seen that.
I know. Oh my God.
You're going to see it twice by the end of the month.
Probably. Oh, for sure. I need to probably watch that 3 times, really get it out of my system. You know, there's so many like movies that I like have heard of or have like touched upon when I was younger, but didn't take in how sick they were.
Yeah.
So now that I'm older, I'm like, hey, I've never watched that, and I watch it and I remember seeing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, as if like sick, but maybe I shouldn't have been watching it.
Yeah. I get a lot of that too when I think about it, because my mom was huge into movies, and I would just have to watch whatever she was watching.
Yeah, exactly.
And she wasn't like that with the intimacy scenes.
Oh my gosh.
I'd be like, Mom, and she'd be like, shut up.
You see this? It happens.
Just be quiet. Stop interrupting the movie.
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's a lot of those movies. But yeah, Eyes Wide Shut. See that ASAP. I actually just had to tell somebody else to see that too.
Yeah. Telling people the good stuff.
That's the I want to ruin it all for you, but I won't.
No, I'm gonna watch that. If I ever come back, we'll have a debrief on all of Eyes Wide Shut.
That's the thing. Like, I watched it once, and I was like, okay, I get that, and I see where that was going and everything, and then like, I read like an analyst on it, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I had to go back and watch it. I was like, holy. Like,
I love that for sure.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then you watch it again with that same understanding, or with that different understanding, I should say. Changes the film completely. That's why I was able to break it down to you the way I did. Because if anybody else were to explain it to you, they'd be like...
They probably wouldn't explain it that way.
They would just have to ruin it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they would.
That's amazing.
There's no other way.
Oh my gosh, I'm hyped. Yeah, I'm definitely hyped.
You'll love that movie. So, I don't know. What else do you have going on? I usually like to give people like some room to talk about like any projects they have going on. Because I think we got to wrap it up. We're at 3 hours here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Dang, just talking. This has been sick. Right now, actually, I'm about to be featured in the Raw Artists Toronto show, May 18th. Okay. It's called Magnify. I'm going to be showing some pictures. I'm going to be showing just like an overview of my work. I'm going to be showing my collages. I'm really, really excited for that. It's going to be a fun night. It's at the Mod Club. Yeah. The tickets are online. You could buy them. I have my little profile on the page. I think that's what you were reading. Yeah. So, right now that's all that's up. The zine release for Las Lobas is definitely coming out soon. Hopefully I get enough. Hopefully they put together in time that I might even be able to like show some and bring some to the show. So I'm hoping for that. What else? Yeah, it's summertime. I just really want to like, you know what I mean? It's about to get fun right now. Yeah, I just want to get out more, take more pictures, meet more people, go to more art shows, create more, really. Just keep living life the way it's been going, because it seems to be working. That's really about it. I think I'm gonna look into, just working on more projects, working on the tattoo zine. For sure, right now that's really it, the art show. But other than that, life's like moving, and I'm excited for it.
Definitely. True. All right, well, if you have any crazy tattoos, give her a shout.
Yes,
what's
please.
your Instagram? It's at Feeling Good?
Feeling Being.
Yes,
but there's no G at the end of feeling, because that domain was taken. Feeling, a vibe, you know what I mean?
So Feeling Being.
Yes.
That's where you can find Adjoa.
Yes.
It's been amazing talking with you.
It's been amazing talking with you too.
I know. We gotta wrap it up.
Thank you for having me.
Later, guys.
Boop.